right now. Chat, sorry about that. We had some audio issues, but put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me now. Put a 2 in the chat if you can't. So put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. 2 in the chat if you cannot hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. 2 in the chat if you can't. Look like the all ones. Okay, all ones. The sync not up. Hold up. We good. We mess with the sync.
Too late.
Now it should be sound. All right, chat. Let me know if it's sound now. We got any sound? Sound on now. Okay, bet. We Gucci. Where'd Shorty go?
She went to pee.
Okay.
I think she's back now. Yeah, here.
Okay, sound on now. So we about to start the podcast. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in and sorry about the issues we was having with the audio. But yeah, let's go. All right. So tonight's episode, we live on a Sunday right now. What is it? Almost 10 o'clock now? Because we had those audio issues. But thank you for staying up late with me. For all the people on YouTube, what I want y'all to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel and click that notification bell. Everyone on Facebook, go over to YouTube because we only going to live stream on Facebook probably for like a half hour because then the conversation starts to get a little too spicy for Facebook. You know, Mark Zuckerberg, he ain't having all of that. So what you want to do is go to YouTube and subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell so we can get things going. Other than that, we got 4 lovely ladies on a podcast today. We talking dating and relationships. We're going to have the ladies introduce themselves, starting over here. Name, age, and where you from?
I'm Tori. I'm from New York. And what else you asked? Sorry.
So name, Tori.
37.
From New York, 37?
Yes.
Okay, and what do you do for a living?
I have my own nonprofit. I'm the director of Women of Wings Wow. And I'm actually an author. Yay. My book drops on the 1st,
Okay.
January 1st, 2024. So super excited about that.
What is your book called?
A new disciple.
A new disciple.
Just
Okay.
the beginning.
Nice. And relationship status.
I'm single.
Single. How long you been single for?
About 2 years now.
2 years?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And name, age, and where you from?
Hi, I'm Kyra. I'm 22 and I'm from Jersey. And I'm a bartender and I work with kids who need help with speech. So
Kyra, 22. Wait, hold up. Kyra, your eyes about as big as mine. I think they may be bigger. Wait, let's have a staring contest.
Oh,
I
God.
bet you to dry out first.
No.
Let's go. I ain't stopping. So, wait, you said you how old?
22.
22. Okay, 22. And what do you do for a living?
So I'm a bartender on the weekends and then I work for a speech pathologist. So we help kids who like can't talk or they have trouble swallowing, stuff like that.
Okay. Okay, cool. And relationship status?
Single.
Single. How long you been single for?
Probably about a month now.
Month now?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And wait, before, so you've been single for a month now. So your past relationship, how long was that for?
That was about a year.
Year.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. And moving right along, yourself, name, age, and where you from?
Hi, I'm Ayla. I'm 22 years old and I'm from Jersey too.
Ava, 22.
Yes.
From Jersey. What part of Jersey?
Parsippany.
Parsippany. Who knows where that is? You said, wait, your name was what?
Ayla. Kayla without the K.
Oh, Ayla.
Yes.
Okay, got you. Relationship status?
I'm single.
Single. How long you
Yes.
been single for?
It's complicated, but
Ooh.
for a bit of time now.
Okay.
Now. Yeah.
Complicated. You've been single for a bit of time now.
Yes.
And what do you do for a living?
I work for Kessler Rehab. It's a physical therapy place in Jersey.
Okay. Kessler Rehab. Nice.
Yes.
Moving right. Welcome back.
Oh no.
The chat's been on you for lame. You good? The chat's been on you for a little bit. They've been coming at you, Kaylee.
It's fine. I don't let it get to me.
You don't let it get to you. Well, introduce yourself to the people that don't know you. Name, age, and where you from.
I'm Kaylee, I'm 30 and I'm from Easton, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And you already know my occupation, so I'm not saying it again.
Occupation, she be sliding down them poles.
You know,
She be sliding down them poles.
you said a post. Did you say a post or a poll?
Pole. Are you still single or no?
Yeah, but I'm
You are.
seeing someone.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
Black guy? Mexican? Asian? White?
I can't I can't disclose that information
You
because
can't disclose the race? Is this guy a nerd too or no?
no.
Oh, he's not a nerd. Okay.
No.
Cool. All right. Fair enough. So, hey, chat. Everybody on Facebook, y'all need to go over to YouTube and subscribe. Not going to be rocking on Facebook for too long. But everybody on YouTube, if you look in that description, I have my one-on-one coaching up. So you'll see the one-on-one coaching and you'll see the link for it. A lot of people's been hitting me in my DMs asking me, yo, coaching, stuff like this. So the link is in the description on all of my social media pages. So that's Facebook, that's Instagram, and it's also on YouTube. So a little bit about the one-on-one coaching because those people have been asking. So this is what I've been doing thus far. So one-on-one relationship coaching. And as for any problems that you happen to have in your relationship, I mean, if your woman won't submit or she's withholding sex for compliance, any of those things, I do one-on-one coaching. I do video coaching as well. If your man is a loser and he's a bum and he really can't get his stuff together, he can't lead you, well, I do those couple coachings as well. So the link is in description. It's the Calendly app. All you do is click that link and you could schedule a one-on-one video coaching with myself. I also do male self-improvement coaching as well. All of you betas and simps out there, if you want to work on your masculinity, I'll help you with that. It really is gonna male self-improvement. It really entails just bettering yourself all around, and bettering yourself. The byproduct of that is you'll be more masculine. The byproduct of being more masculine, you'll have women be able to follow your lead and be more submissive. So if you need some coaching on that, it's in the link in the description on Calendly. Other than that, ladies, I know we were talking before the podcast and y'all had some questions, right? Who had a question? Anyone had a question? No? Liam? No? No, you ain't write yours down. You got one?
I do have a question.
Okay, let's get to you.
More so about what you do.
Okay, cool.
One is like what makes you qualified to coach relationships.
Sure.
And two is what's your definition of masculinity?
Ooh, good question. Right off the busy with it. What makes me qualified to coach people in relationships? Qualified. So there's no degrees or anything
Of
like
course,
that
yes.
with coaching. So that's one. Two, qualification is I'm in a relationship.
Okay.
I've been in a relationship for going on 7 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Congratulations.
But not only that, I don't have to be in a relationship to teach men and women how to be in a relationship or to even date.
Okay.
I've just have years of experience with coaching people. I would say that what gives me my qualification.
Okay.
And if anyone, if you see in the content, you see how well I speak, you see my intellect and my competence, people just want to reach out and, hey, where did you learn this from? So that's why. What was the other question?
What's your definition of masculinity? Like, why does a man have to be masculine to be able to lead a woman?
Well, okay. Good question. So let me ask you a question that would answer that. Why would a man have to be masculine to lead a woman? Would you submit to any man?
I wouldn't submit to just any man, but I asked that question because I know there's men out there who are a little bit feminine, but still are straight and want to be with a woman. So what makes them less qualified to lead a woman because of their femininity?
Yeah. Well, I'll just answer the question. The definition of it's a multitude. It's a lot of definitions of masculinity. But I would say a man of integrity, a man of decisiveness, a man that can protect and provide, not only himself, but his family and his people around him. A leader, that's masculinity. And also other masculine traits about a man is assertive, dominant, A-type personality, non-agreeable to a degree.
Okay.
So those are some masculinity traits, I would say. Yeah.
I have a question, yeah. Do you think it always has to be the man? Because there's some situations where I feel like the woman has more of, I guess, like the masculine role in the relationship.
Yeah, and off of that, it's just, I feel like all the traits you just listed are not masculine traits, if that makes sense. Like a woman could for sure have those traits.
For sure, yeah. So masculinity and femininity, it's just, let's say, energies that human beings embody. You know what I mean? So a feminine woman, the reason why a woman we would say is feminine is because she was born with more estrogen and less testosterone, right?
Okay.
So more estrogen and less testosterone, generally speaking, women just happen to be more agreeable creatures, right? They don't really want to argue like if they're in a community or a group, the woman isn't going to be the one that's like, I'm not doing this. I'm not with that. That's going to be more of like the man, generally speaking. Now, I'm not saying that women don't do it, but generally speaking. So since masculinity and femininity are, let's say, energies that we embody, we all know that there are masculine women and we all know that there are feminine men. So anyone can embody any of the traits.
Okay, I agree with you on that.
What's more naturally a woman, she's just naturally more feminine, right? And a man is just naturally more masculine. And the reason why these energies can intertwine and a woman can be more masculine and a man can be more feminine is because, it's society has to do with that as well. The easier life is, the more the gender roles start to change. Think about it. 500 years ago, 5,000 years ago, and Liam, you could boom, 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 everyone. 5,000 years ago, a man would have to, go out there and hunt.
Yeah.
And gather the food and bring it back home. And a woman, she's pregnant with, kids and stuff like that. So she wouldn't be the one, okay, if we need to survive, who's more likely to be out there hunting to get the food? Well, he's bigger, taller. He has bigger bone density. He's stronger. So let's put the best person at that job.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
That, yeah.
So the man would be out there hunting and gathering. So our biology, the way God made us, think about it. 5,000 years ago, we didn't have electricity. Think about why men are not less emotional, but we have more control of our emotions, because there wasn't any light 5,000 years ago. Dark. Saber-toothed tigers coming. Is the woman going to go out there and hunt those saber-toothed tigers? So the way God made us is like, okay, if we have just as emotions as the woman, then we'll both be scared in the wilderness. Like, I ain't going out there to hunt. So he made the man to have more control of his emotions and to think more logically about things. So he'll have the ability to hunt and gather and bring the bacon home. So those are just happen to be more masculine traits. But the easier society gets and life gets, now we could call up Uber Eats and get food real quick. You know what I'm saying? We could go, you don't gotta hunt and gather.
Yeah.
So when life gets easier, men get more docile. And now women are in a workforce, so they have the ability now to work themselves. So they have the mindset, well, I don't really need you. You get what I'm saying? I want you, but I don't need you. You hear that saying that women say. But the facts is that women, they say that they don't need a man. They just want a man. But your biology still tells you that you still want a strong masculine male. That's why when there's a woman making $100,000 a year, she ain't gonna settle with a dude making 30.
I agree with that.
Yeah, she's still gonna want a dude that's making the same or more. So the stuff that how God made us, our biology, over time, it still didn't change. We are still attracted to those same traits in the opposite sex from 5,000 years ago. Make sense? So the masculinity and femininity thing, anyone can embody it, but I think culture and stuff like that in the soft times, since times are so soft, I think that's why women are a little bit more masculine and men are a little bit more feminine, weak.
And I see how that plays into oh, go ahead.
No, I just was saying, yes, some men are very weak.
Yeah. Oh, and then, no, if you lean it back, you can go closer. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was saying I see how that plays into your relationship advice, because you asked me, would you submit to a man? And yes, I would submit to the man, but only if that man was leading me in the right direction, treating me right, if that makes sense. So I just see how your opinion plays into your relationship advice.
Yeah, because I mean, I have a daughter. I wouldn't want my daughter to submit to no weak dude.
Yeah.
So it's like, well,
exactly that.
How can you submit? Submittance is earned. It's just not given out of just. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, you had something?
Yeah, you said that you're. Are you married first?
No.
Why not? You said you was in a 7-year relationship.
7 years. Well, going on 7.
Okay.
Okay, so why are you not married?
Well, same. Let me ask you this question: when the last time you had sex?
It's been a minute. I don't know because I don't write it down. Because
why don't you have sex?
Because God.
Because God?
Yeah, I'm in a covenant with God, and I believe that I shouldn't have sex until I get married.
True. Well, that's good, but you're not a virgin, right?
No.
Okay, cool. But so women hold the key to sex and men hold the key to marriage. So the same reason you not having sex is the same reason, let's just say, like, since you hold the key to it, same reason that I'm not married. Because you don't want to have sex.
Yes.
And I don't want to be married.
Okay, so you say you don't want to be married, right? But if you don't want to get married, but you want to have all the aspects of marriage, that is, you all right? We good?
Oh, no, yeah, Kev, no, we're good. Go ahead.
Okay, so you don't want to get married, but you want to have all the aspects of being married. Like, does your woman find that, like, is she okay with that?
Name one benefit that a man gets in a relationship that he doesn't get in marriage.
One benefit that he gets, that's the problem right there. I feel like this is the reason why men aren't committing, because they get every single thing already. So it's really no reason for them to commit, because I got everything. You know, you're saying you're perfect. You got everything, right? You got the wife, you got the kid, but you're not technically married. So it's just like it's no push on your part. But we were made for marriage. We were made.
I agree. We were made for a good, beautiful union of two people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, yeah, I agree. We were made to be married and have a good, beautiful union together. Yes.
Am I allowed to comment?
Sure.
Sorry for this one. I hope I don't get hate, but I do agree with David on this because I don't want to get married. I believe in a long-term partner without all the papers, but if it happened with the right person, then okay. But at the same time,
you don't have a need for it.
No. I feel like it's fine if you just be with someone for years at a time.
So what would make you think that a man would be responsible or hold you, establish any type of thing if you don't even want marriage? I think about covenants, and being in a covenant with a person is sacred. It holds it together. And if you don't have that marriage or that covenant, it's no morals, no principles. It's a free for all. Do what you want to do. And this is where problems come in, especially if you're, having sex. Don't that's a huge problem, because now you're seeing other people. That person is seeing
it's
another.
A thing to keep someone accountable.
Well, I don't.
Yeah, you gotta keep them accountable.
Go ahead, Kaylee. You good?
I personally don't think everybody needs to get married, especially because this world, the divorce rate is ridiculous. And I come from a home with 2 divorced parents, okay? And I don't think you need, like I said, legal documents, and you can still be faithful to your partner, not bang other women or men. I don't think you need to be married to be faithful to somebody. There's so many people that just have companionship or partnerships with their significant other. They don't need to. And I also think it's a big money scam too. I'm sure I'll get hate for this too. But if you think about it, people spend thousands of dollars on weddings and this and that. I mean, you could elope, but at the same time, you still have to have that legal document. And I don't think you need that to prove that you love your partner, personally.
You had something?
Yeah, I was going to say, I believe in marriage. I think it's a great thing. I think if you want to get married, you should get married. But I do also believe that if you're going to be in a relationship with somebody, that in itself is you saying that you're going to be faithful to this person. Whether you're married or not, you can still cheat. You can still do all the same things that you would do in a regular relationship, the same that you can do in a marriage. So I think that, I guess, a marriage solidifies it technically, but I also think that it doesn't have to solidify it. If you guys know, I'm loyal to you, you're loyal to me, we're going to raise a family together, we're about each other, etc., then it's kind of the same thing when you really think about it. Just a marriage, you're signing papers and you're making it legal. So it's really, I don't feel like it's really that different.
Yeah, my whole take on the whole marriage thing, because you brought up the question, I would say that, one, there isn't a benefit that men get from a marriage that he can't get from a relationship. It's the same thing. That's what I truly believe.
Yeah.
Then also, you bring about religion into this. So you ask me, well, why you're in a relationship with the girl and why aren't you married to the girl? And then you ask, how does she feel about it? So then I have a question for you if we're going to talk about religion. You're not a virgin, so the man that you are going to marry, how would he feel that you're not a virgin? So the point, I'm not asking, you don't have to answer that question, but the point I'm making that everything is imbalanced right now is because God and religion is out of America. You get what I'm saying?
Definitely.
But if God and religion was in America, then we'll all be playing on equal grounds. The man would be, doing what he has to do to be masculine and lead the woman. The woman would be pure, because you got to think about marriage solidifies, like the woman walking down the aisle with a white dress, that solidifies purity. You get what I'm saying? So most women aren't virgins. And not only that, marriage, thousands of years ago, we're talking about religion, they didn't have the courts involved. Like they didn't have any, you know what I mean? You wasn't paying no alimony, back in the day. So marriage from a religious standpoint, since you brung it up, yeah, definitely get married in the church. Nothing is wrong with that. But like getting married on paper with the government involved where they could take half because a woman can just wake up one day and be like, yeah, I'm not really feeling it. Half. So it's not really, that special for a man as it is for a woman because there's no incentive for the man to get married. But it's every incentive for the woman to get married.
I disagree. And just on the spiritual, the biblical aspect of it, we were created to be man's helper. So a lot of the time, if the man does not have God leading him, Adam fills a void. Adam.
Well, you said
still
what? Say that again.
Adam would fill a void because he didn't have he felt man should not be alone. Adam felt the void because he needed the woman, correct? You saying,
Lean, camera on her.
Because you said if your woman, right? If your woman wanted marriage, y'all have a child and everything, right? If she leaves, you're going to fill a void. And the point about what I'm trying to say is
spit it out. You good.
I know, because you got me all flustered. Okay. If she did not submit to you, if she didn't say, okay, let's have this family, let's have this relationship without the marriage, then you would fill a void. So women are a necessity to men.
So you said that a man would fill a void without a title? That doesn't make any sense.
No, without a woman.
We were made to be on this. We're better together than we are apart.
Exactly.
That's not the argument. The argument is marriage itself. So if we're talking about marriage itself and what marriage constitutes in the United States, it's legalities that's involved. You get what I'm saying? So my point is that a marriage, there's not a benefit for a man that a man can't get any benefit out of marriage that he can't get from a girlfriend, a committed relationship with a woman. The woman, what she gets out of the marriage is the wedding. Like most women nowadays really only want to get, if we're not talking religious, right? But we're talking most women in general. They want to get married for the cake, for the wedding dress, to invite all their friends on. They just want to get married for the event. They don't want to get married and like, oh, okay, like there's, like, you get what I'm saying? If you're already doing the duties in a relationship, well, let's do something small and go to a church.
I just don't think that's true, though. I don't think women want to get married just because of the event of it all.
I didn't say all, and I said women in general in 2023.
Yeah, but that's what I'm speaking on. Not me, for sure, but like, I think I'm speaking on the fact that most women that's not the reason for most women.
Okay, what do you think the reason is?
I think the reason for marriage is to solidify the relationship. And then earlier you said that there's no benefit to the man, but a woman can just say she doesn't want this relationship and she gets half. That's not true nowadays, though, because the woman's not always going to get half.
Right.
What if the woman makes more money than the man and the man ends up getting half?
So the relationships where the woman makes more money than the man, she gonna divorce him anyway.
That's not true.
That's not true.
Not going to, if they
not
didn't
true.
get married already, she's not going to get married to the man. Or if they're already married and she's making more than the man, it's a time clock ticking before she starts to grow resentment for that dude.
Okay, but even if they did get a divorce and she makes more money and the divorce was her idea, the man is still going to get half. Regardless.
Oh, if she's making more.
Yeah.
We see it's very far few in between situations like that happen. Because men just make more than women in society anyway.
I do.
I mean, yes, but also no. I feel like I know a lot of women who don't need a man to support themselves. And I feel
I
like
mean, they're self-sufficient. Okay.
right, but they also, if they were to get into a relationship, they would get into a relationship not for the money, but for the person. Like, I don't think money necessarily, like, if I'm in a relationship and he's not making as much as me, that's fine, but I still need you to do your part. Like, if we're splitting the bills, you need to make your part, I need to make my part, but you don't have to make more than me. Like, as long as we're in it together and we're a team, then it's okay. So I don't think it's necessarily about just, like, the money.
And I totally agree.
How old are you?
22.
22?
But I was
And you
raised by
saying
a
that-
very independent woman. So
Yeah.
that's my mindset. Like, I don't need a man to
Your
be good
mom
on
was
my
raised
own.
by your mom? Was your dad
My
around?
grandmother.
Or your grandmother? And was your grandfather around?
Yes.
He was around. But so were you just so you had your grandmother and your grandfather, or just your grandmother?
Both of them.
Oh, you had both of them. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I got you. And so you're saying that you was raised by a very well, how was she independent if she had a husband?
So, because she didn't need him.
Was he working?
Yeah,
Who made more? Do you know?
I do, but that's not.
Was grandma
That
making
doesn't-
more or grandpa making more?
She's making more.
Okay, so grandma was making more.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying grandma was making more and grandma didn't need papa for any financial support.
Right, but I also feel like even as a man and as a woman, you can make it on your, like, I don't think you should need to rely on anybody. Like, you need to live your individual life, and if you pick a partner, you pick a partner because you want to pick that partner, not because you need them, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like, you shouldn't need somebody else to support you.
Yeah, well, that's the mindset of the woman nowadays. They think, I was talking about this before, you tend to think that you don't need a man, you only want a man. But the facts is that without a man, you barely could pick what you want to eat, generally speaking, women. Women are indecisive creatures.
I mean,
generally.
I will agree with that. I
Not
will
only
say
that-
they're indecisive.
Yeah, not only that, women are indecisive creatures generally. You can't really pick what you want to eat. You can't really the emotions that you have, you can't really self-regulate your emotions as good as you think you could self-regulate your emotions. And I'm speaking women in general, from 18 to even after they hit menopause and things really start changing. But so my point is that you're saying that you don't need a man, but I'm saying that you definitely need a man. You're not going to live on as what true happiness and purpose do you get from life without a man and a family?
But would you say the same for a man? Like, do you think a man needs a woman?
Of course we need a woman.
Okay, so you think it's basically like y'all need each other.
Exactly. We are better
But
together than we are
apart.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is, like, yes, I agree with you. I think that, people don't want to be alone. Like, you want a partner. But I'm saying, like, I don't think that you need a partner to still be able to, like, live a good life.
Well, it depends on what your definition of good is, because there's a lot of single women that's 40, 45 years old right now, living at home with no man, no kids, and they have cats and dogs. Those women are on antidepressant medications right now, and are not living a good life.
But you think that for all of them?
The majority of them, you got to think about it. What is life for a woman? What is life for a man? life for a woman is what you create. Life for a man is what you create, right?
Yeah.
What do men create? What do men get a thrill out of and a sense of purpose for? We get a sense of purpose for going out in the world, slaying dragons, battling other men for a position so we could bring home the bacon to our family. We grind for status, wealth, and that's a sense of purpose to provide for someone. Providing is the man's sense of purpose. But that's what the man creates. That's why everything that you're seeing, touching, the mic that you're talking to, was built by a man. The jewelry that you're wearing was most likely, built by a man. The sneakers that you're definitely wearing was built by a man. These lights, this entire building was all built by men, because men, we create things. We have a natural proclivity to create things. Now, that's the man. Now, what's the woman's natural proclivity to create? So think about it. If everything you're seeing and touching, men created, what did woman create? Every human being out here. So the woman's purpose is creating us.
So
right?
you believe...
So the woman, let me finish.
Sorry.
A man derives his true happiness from providing and protecting the people he loves and going out there and creating things. The woman, she derives her true happiness from serving a masculine man that she loves, respects, and admires, and building a family with to create, creating a family with. So that's the difference. Without that, you got to think about it. A man that's not on his purpose, that's not creating anything, he's probably smoking weed all the time and not doing nothing with his life. He's just not doing anything. He has no ambitions to do anything. The woman that's not out here creating a family, she's out at the club, buying new Gucci bags, taking trips by herself or with her friends. Okay, but when you're 70 years old, well, what did you create? What can you be proud of? Some old Gucci bags? No. That's not, I don't think that's good. Do you think it's good?
Not at all. But what I wanted to speak on that, we got to be honest and got to be real. Like, think about it. Women are going to be, there are going to be a lot of women that's not married. We don't have enough men. We can say that right now. Yeah. Either they going to the other side or they in jail or whatever it may be. I don't know. But we don't have enough men. That's why, it's multiple women to one man. But the thing about it is, in order for a woman to be complacent, and I think that the problem is a lot of us have the purpose wrong. Like, if we think about purpose more so as money, and honestly, when you get down to it, like, we were sent here from God, and our purpose is being to serve God. Like, we have the Holy Spirit now. That can be your second partner. You don't, so those women that are not actually able to grab a man, they better grab the Holy Spirit and have Jesus as their friend, because that is the only way they're going to get through. All right, that's it.
Yeah, I would say even that, you're still not gonna get through. You still need a man. You need human beings. We need companionship. Even in the Bible, it doesn't say, oh well, yeah, Jesus came and he died on the cross for our sins and everything, and now we have the ability to have the Holy Spirit. He didn't say, well, you could have the Holy Spirit, so you don't need one another. That wasn't the point of it. It was more of, you need one another, but now the Holy Spirit is there to, before you had to sacrifice things all the time. You had to kill sheep and kill weird things, and it was all sacrifice based. Now we don't have to sacrifice anything for our sins, is because God was the ultimate sacrifice. So the Holy Spirit is just that, you got to think about it. Most people don't even catch the Holy Ghost or have the Holy Spirit. It's a gift. So most people don't even have that gift. But and the Holy Spirit is more of a guidance. It's more of an influence to guide you in life. That's what I truly think. But yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, everybody's entitled to the Holy Spirit once they actually do their salvation prayer and pray for it. But besides all of that, what I mostly wanted to get at is...
Oh, wait, hold that real quick. YouTube. I see y'all on YouTube right now. Anybody got a super chat? If you got any questions, send in anything, $1, $2, who cares? But I'll read your super chat if you have any comments or if you have any questions. Send the super chat and we'll get the questions asked on the panel. We got 4 lovely ladies on the podcast tonight, so support. And everyone on Facebook, go over to YouTube and send a super chat. I'm about to close out the Facebook stream in like 10 minutes. So y'all only literally got 10 minutes to get on over to YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the YouTube channel, because this conversation about to get a little bit more spicier. We ain't even getting to the first question. We're just having fun talking about marriage, Holy Spirits, and some other stuff. So I'm sorry, go ahead. What you saying?
No, I was just saying, as far as that's concerned, of course, you need people. You need to interact with people. I'm not saying that, but I'm talking about that deep inner side of you. This is what our partner in life is supposed to be with us for. This is why we marry a man, for that inner self, that I can take off my makeup and he can see me and still give me that love and attention that I need. Like, we could go back and forth. He can make me feel love. Now, Holy Spirit is a comforter. So for those who do not have that comfort, that aspect, I'm pretty sure coming to having Holy Spirit will comfort them in those times of needs, because everybody is not going to get married. Everybody is not going to have a man. All the females are not going to be married or have a man. That's just point blank bottom line.
Yeah, every female is not going to get married or have a man. I disagree with that. Every female actually has the ability to get married and find a man. Every man doesn't have that ability, though. Since the beginning of time, 90% of women procreated, but only 40% of men procreated since the beginning of time, and it still goes that way. It's because women are hypergamous, meaning that they look for quality and they want to choose the best man that they could get. So that means that they disqualify the losers and they qualify the guys that's doing something in life, right? The guys that they're attracted to. So women can truly find a man, but the facts and the true facts is that women don't want to settle with a man. You had too many dicks in you. You're up to a 30 body count. Now every dude that you're talking to, you comparing and contrasting with the last men. So now no one can measure up. And then all of a sudden, women are in the workforce. So now what? You making $100,000 a year? Now you're making 6 figures, baby. Good for you. But now she's like, but guess what? Only 20% of the population makes 6 figures. So now this woman that's making 6 figures, her hypergamous nature, she still doesn't want to date down. But a lot of men are making 6 figures. So for her to truly be in her feminine and feel safe and secure in a relationship, she needs a strong masculine man that can provide, and which makes more to her, so she could feel the sense of like that sense of need to follow that man's need.
A man
follow that man's
doesn't
lead.
have to make more than a woman. I'm sorry. It's like the money is not going to be the reason why we choose to submit and or follow. It's going to be who you are, how you lead, is what I'm saying. And
accountability.
Yeah.
Y'all men are not accountable.
So I'll help you to understand, because what you said just didn't make any sense, but I'll help you out. So you're gonna
I'm sorry.
I just didn't think it today. And Lynn, I'm gonna probably speak for like a minute. I'm gonna try to make it quick, but get it back and forth. So you just said that a woman doesn't care about a man's money.
Mm-hmm.
She cares about.
No, that's not what I said. The man doesn't have to make more money than a woman. I do agree with you that when a woman makes 6 figures, yes, we don't want someone who's making $30,000 a year, because it's just a difference of lifestyle, right? But I don't agree with the fact that the man has to make more money to be able to lead the women. As long as your woman feels as if you can lead, provide, you have that sense of security for her, then we'll submit, is what I'm saying. So it's more of an emotional level more than a financial level.
Yeah. So that sounds good, like on paper, but it doesn't work in practice.
Okay, so tell me how it is in practice.
The reason why it doesn't work in practice is because in 2023 with social media around, women have more options than they ever had before. So since you have more options, do you understand what hypergamous means?
Hypergamous?
Yeah, so hypergamous means that it's a natural propensity, not even a proclivity. A proclivity is a tendency.
Okay.
A propensity is like that's embodied in you. It's biological, right?
Okay.
So a woman she has a natural propensity to look for someone that's more superior than her. She wants a man better than her. That's why women want a man taller. That's why they want a man stronger. That's why they want a man that makes more money, right? And it isn't the money, it's the characteristic traits that it takes to make the money, is what I'm saying.
I agree.
So, yeah, you saying that, well, we just want to feel secure in a relationship is more of that emotional connection. He could still make less than us, but we still want to feel secure in a relationship. And my point is that, well, you can't, the probability is extremely low for you to feel secure in a relationship with a guy that doesn't, because competence, it takes competence to make money.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're making more money than your man, if you're not doing any sex work, if the woman is making more money than her man, she has a higher level of competence, right?
Okay.
So in order to be a leader and to lead someone, the leader has more competence than the people that they lead, right? So what you're saying, yeah, it sounds good on paper, but in practice, it just doesn't work because resentment will grow. So this is where you start, women, you don't have any discernment because you start viewing men like, oh yeah, the vibe is all good. The reason why you don't have any discernment, most women in 2023, is because you're a slave to your emotions. To discern something is to have good judgment.
Mm-hmm.
If you are slaves to your emotions, well, how much good judgment can you really have? This is why the woman needs a man in her life, because she needs guidance. Because men, we naturally have discernment, right? We have and God gave us the ability for all of us to have discernment. But discernment comes from a man leading. Discernment comes from the father instills that discernment into the children. Oh, you don't agree? So
Can I
put the camera on us so we get a face and put it back on.
That
I'll break this down to you real quick, just the religious part, and then I'll go into the other part.
No, I understand the father. That's great.
So God,
I agree with you on that part.
got you.
Sorry.
God over man, man over woman, woman over children. That's the cycle of love. That's the cycle of everything in life of what we need. So my point is that, yeah, a woman, she could have the ability to discern and to make good judgment. But normally the probability is extremely higher for her to be able to have that discernment if it's instilled by her father, right?
Okay.
It's instilled by her father. And then for that woman to have discernment, that either has to be instilled by her father or her husband. You get what I'm saying? Because that's where it trickles down that way. It's no other way to explain it.
Okay.
I'll tell you one thing. The reason why discernment comes from the father, then to the man, and then to the woman and the children is because it takes discipline to have discernment. You need to be disciplined in order to, to differentiate things. You got to think about it. Most human beings, think about it. Why do women don't know how to pick what they want to eat? Because they can't differentiate like, okay, well, do I want this today? Do I want that? They kind of compartmentalize everything. So you need a man that can literally be decisive, one, make a decision, but not only that, to be able to judge things like, okay, this is different from this is different from this. We're going to go with this choice today. You get what I'm saying?
I get what
you're saying. So that's discernment. But not only that, the discipline part is that women live life on easy mode in 2023, and they always have because men built everything and men provided everything for the woman.
I'll work a lot
real quick.
No. I'm gonna lay my plane.
All right.
Don't get this work.
work so much.
You're gonna get work, and then after I stop, y'all can go.
Can I use the restroom? Please?
Urgency that
Can I
I want to
use the
speak.
restroom?
Yeah, go ahead, Kaylee. You use the restroom. I see the sense of urgency that y'all want to speak, and I'm gonna let y'all speak. But you asking questions and you need guidance. So this is what I'm saying, right? So the reason why it takes discipline to have discernment, because if you have no discipline, how can you make good judgment? You have to be disciplined within yourself to be able to fully judge something. You get what I'm saying? To make a judgment call. Because if you're not disciplined, you're just living life whatever. Well, then those traits of how you live in life or whatever is you'll be looking into that into other people. You get what I'm saying? I can make a good decision and I could judge things pretty good and make discernment decisions because I don't drink, smoke, cuss, or do any of those bad behaviors. You get what I'm saying? So then I'm looking at other people and other people may be doing degenerate behavior. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not going to do this. Let's do this. I look at things in a probability standpoint versus not looking at things in a possibility standpoint. And discernment comes from discipline, if that makes sense. But anyways, before you go real quick, she has something on her mind and I'm going to bring it right back to you.
So I was going to ask.
I got you.
Oh, okay. So based off everything you're saying, do you believe in like women should not work and men should basically like take care of the family, go get the money and all that, and women should just be like the caretakers of the family? Like, what is it that you believe in a relationship? Yeah. What will make a successful relationship to you? Or in your
woman
opinion?
Can definitely work. Nothing is wrong with women being in a workforce in 2023, right? Nothing is wrong with that. Go ahead and get your bag, girl. You know what I mean? Be self-sufficient as you can. I'm not saying that women shouldn't work. I think that you should work. Well, should is a word. You have to work. I think that everyone needs to be self-sufficient. So you have to work. And with religion going out of the United States, the father in most households is, you know, the kids are raised by single mothers. So you don't have any father like it was in the past to pick a man for you because the father has discernment. You got to think about it. The woman, she would be like, oh yeah, she slaves to her emotions. She'll be rizzed up by a broke bum dude. But it's all about her emotions. So she's like, yeah, I'm going to choose Kyle because he's just a nice guy and he has, you know, cute eyebrows. But your father, if you have a father there to help you choose the man for you, he'll be like, Kyle is a nice guy, but he doesn't have any assertiveness. He's indecisive. He's a little, you know, he has that feminine energy. You know, you going to go with James. James, he comes from a good family. He's goal-oriented. He's assertive. He's dominant. And he has more of a tendency, a proclivity to provide you a good future rather than Kyle. Now, Kyle may be arousing to you, but James is a good long-term mating choice. Kyle, he'll get the draws wet. But James, he'll keep you, he'll have a good life for you, and you guys will raise children, and he'll instill good traits until y'all children. But women always want to choose the Kyles. So bringing it back together, right, to your question, yeah, women should work, but that doesn't mean I'm saying that, oh, the men, you got to think about it. All women, correct me if I'm wrong, is just what you would prefer. And all of y'all, show of hands, actually. If you could choose a man that could pay for all the bills, you live a comfortable life, he loves you, he respects you, and you still get the, you know, if you have a goal that you want to reach or something that you want to do, he gonna root for you. Hey, baby girl, you want to write a book? Yeah, write that book. You want to start up a business and you know, or a charity or something like that? Oh, start that, and he'll help you with that. That's guy A. Would you want that guy where life is kind of on ease mode for you and peaceful, and you get to start a family and you know, life is good, or the guy where you're going 50-50 with?
So I feel like for me,
show of hands. You going with guy A, everything is peaceful and good, or guy B, yeah, you know, it's good, but it's 50-50. Like, you got to work. You don't really have a choice.
I feel like I can't pick, like I could pick, but there's things that, like, if I'm gonna pick guy A, I would rather guy A.
Okay, stop right there. Guy A, hold up. Now you two
I would do guy A.
Okay, yo, Lame, came on up.
Right, like it's just common sense.
For you, and
Lame, I need you locked in too.
If you had a woman who was paying for you, and you could still go on and do what makes you feel like you have purpose, you would pick girl A too.
No, right. No. So this is the thing. So
he's a. Oh, sorry.
Okay. That part where you're a man and you have to go into your natural sense of being. But I think it's also dangerous for us to say, going off of what she was saying, like, would a woman, do you think women should work? I think it's dangerous for you to keep saying that a woman needs a man because she's indecisive. A woman needs a man because
that's totally false. That's why a woman
because
needs God, because she will lead her and guide her. Steps of a righteous man is ordered.
like
You
a
don't
man
need a man for that.
because
But
she's emotionally no, you're good. She's emotionally unstable. I think that's dangerous to say because it kind of reminded me of when it was Hillary and Trump running for office, and people were saying, oh, it can't be a woman in office because she gets a period. She could just hit a button and a war could start. That I just feel like it's dangerous for you to say that because then it diminishes the mind of the woman. It diminishes the purpose that we could have in the workforce. You know what I'm saying? Do you get that? Don't get me wrong. I agree, maybe not agree. I get your perspective of that when you say that, but it's also, I feel like you should pick a different language when saying that because you're just diminishing, like I said, the mind of a woman. Like, we don't need a man to make emotional decisions. We don't need a man to make any type of decision for us.
Rational decision.
Can I go off of that?
But let me reply to her. So, one, everything you said is cool. That's the democratic, that's the victim mindset, that's the Black Lives Matter. Yeah, it is. I'll explain to you more. That's that whole left wing type mindset, and that's the mindset that mindset is the reason why the Black community is in a position that they are in today.
Okay,
the reason why that mindset is because of that is because you look at things of what's good instead of what's best. And that's the reason why you need a man, because you just said that, well, a woman could be doing this, but is it best for the woman to do this to get the best outcome for the family, for herself and everything else? Is it best for a woman to be doing that? No, it's not best. What's best is, because you got to think about it, what's best is for a woman to be at home with the kids and raising those kids, instilling the right things that she needs to instill inside those kids. Because if the woman doesn't instill it and she's working and the kids are in daycare, then the daycare and other human beings will be instilling certain behaviors and traits into your kids. Okay. They'll be believing in LGBTQ. They'll be believing in,
I believe in LGBTQ, just so everyone knows.
They'll be believing in up is down and left is right. Everything would be confusion. You get what I'm saying? So what's best is that a man leads the relationship. And if the man has the means and the assertiveness and the ambitions to go out there and truly make something of himself, so he can allow his woman to stay at home and raise the children, that's the best scenario, right? Okay. And then the woman, because y'all all think about it, y'all all chose guy A. The reason why y'all all chose guy A, because innately, that's what you truly want. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm not telling you anything that women don't want. So you saying that, oh, well, it's dangerous for me to be saying this. Well, how is it dangerous if that's what you truly want?
Not dangerous in most of what you're saying, but dangerous in the fact that you said that a woman needs a man to make logical decisions and a man, to make logical decisions.
This is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that a woman needs a man to make logical decisions is not saying that she's getting that from the man that she's with, right? Because you got to think about it. If society, if the man isn't instilling certain behaviors inside the woman, then either her father had to instill certain behaviors or society will instill certain behaviors. So the man I'm talking about is either the man that she's with, but before she gets with that man that she's with, it's her father, right? That's the man that is going to guide the woman. I have an 11-year-old daughter. So all the things that I've learned and I've experienced and overcame trials and tribulations, I will instill those good traits into my daughter. So then when she's out there and going to be dating and going to be working, she's going to have the ability to have discernment, to make good judgment, and, find a man. And I'll do it a little bit differently. I'll be choosing the man that my daughter marries. I'm doing it old school. Liam, you good? But
okay, so one thing I want to say is, of course, every woman needs a man. I feel like every woman needs a man and every man needs a woman. That's point blank, period. That's the best thing. This is what's inside of us. This is our nature. But what I do want to say is, I feel like the men are not, you guys are not being held accountable. Like, and we live in crazy times. And if the man don't get it together, because it's so much, oh, it's the woman this, it's the woman that, but the men need to get it together in order to restore back to our functioning, because it's too much madness going on here right about now. And you saying no marriage, like,
I'm not saying no marriage. That's not what I said. You asked me a personal question, and I gave you a personal response, right?
Okay.
But what I would advise men to do, right? A man that has, any man, if he accomplished things or if he didn't accomplish things, I would advise him, it's not in your best interest to get married with the government involved.
okay,
You could truly get married in a church. You could truly get married and, going down to the magistrative office and, getting married, just the legal way, signing the papers and stuff like that. That is okay. But at the end of the day, one, that's not a man's true focus. So this podcast is mostly men watch it, but women watch it as well. But if I'm giving advice to a man, since when a man marries a woman, usually the woman has all the leverage then, because she could divorce him, take half, or it's a multitude of things legality wise that can mess up the man. But let me go back to one thing you said, and I'll let you go. You said nowadays
not holding accountability.
Yeah,
even
accountability. And Lame, you good on the switchy? Bet. So, and remember, when I speak, you still need to get the girl's reaction. So every couple seconds, get it on the girl, bring it back to me. Got you. So, you said about the whole accountability, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you said that men need to take accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Men live in accountability.
Mm.
And I'll explain to you why men live in accountability.
Not covering the woman. That's what I mean by not taking accountability, by not making the woman the wife, or by not actually, like, think about it. From Adam and Eve, Adam wasn't there. This is why Eve ate the apple. He wasn't covering her. He wasn't there. And then this is why women start doing different things, going to that serpent, going on. But like you said,
the reason why Eve ate the apple is because women are easier influenced than men, right?
If Adam was covering her,
it doesn't matter if he was
she
covering
wouldn't
her or
have
not,
did it,
right? So this is the facts.
That's facts.
In society, it's provable. So the reason why Eve went to Adam and convinced Adam to eat the apple as well is because she was influenced. The serpent couldn't influence Adam. He had no ability to influence Adam. He only had the ability to influence Eve because she was more susceptible to it. And the entire market knows this. The entire industry of goods and resources knows this. That's why when you're on social media, they market everything to women. Why do you think there's no body shaming? Why do you think that there's all these no shame and no slut shaming and all of these type of things?
I agree with that.
Because advertisers want to sell to women. Why do you think that there's all these plus sizes to women? They're not saying, hey, get in the gym and eat more healthier. They're just making bigger clothes. Bigger clothes for your woman. Bigger clothes for women. They're not advertising anything for you to better yourself. They're just saying, hey, live and be how you are, and that's great, because they know you're susceptible to it. They know that it's easier to advertise to a woman than it is to advertise to a man. I'm a sales guy. I come from the sales background. It's much easier to sell to a woman than it is to sell to a man. Men are naturally non-agreeable creatures. Women, they agree to most things. And also, if you could appease their ego or make them feel good about stuff, since they're slaves to their emotions, as long as you make them feel good about their emotions, well, hey girl, you look good in that. You don't gotta lose no weight. You love your curves, girl. Here, take these big girl clothes. Take these plus size clothes. Why do you think in stores there's only big and tall section in Burlington Coat Factory? There's no big and tall section in any of these other stores, but every store that women shop at, there's some plus size clothes for that because they know it's easier to sell to them, and they know, hey, they don't want to shame women. Let's just give them what they want. So that's why Eve was influenced by the serpent, because she's naturally more susceptible to be influenced by outside sources.
I definitely agree with that, with women being more able to be influenced by outside sources, but that's why men was created, so we could
to protect the woman.
Yes, to protect. And if Adam wasn't there,
I don't disagree with that.
If Adam wasn't there, this is why she got into these problems. And I think about us in society, men, they so busy trying to look. When then he came to Adam, and Adam came to Eve and then began to eat the apple that Eve gave him, right? Mind you, that's more so just like men nowadays. I'm going to have sex with these women, but I'm not going to put in the time, the effort, the dedication, and stay by that person's side and make sure that she's okay. Adam could have been out there working, doing whatever, and I know you guys have a lot to deal with.
Let me stop you there real quick. So you're looking at things, you're starting from the effects, because here's how manipulation happens, right? Manipulation happens in two ways. You could either manipulate yourself, right? Or you can manipulate other people, and it happens if you focus on the effects of things, right? Anytime you're talking about effects, the effects of, this happened and this happened, that's the effects of things. Most likely you're manipulating yourself and you're trying to manipulate us. So the facts is that you want to go to the you get what you're saying, but
it's true though.
I'll get what you're saying, but I'll help you out a little bit. So the facts is that you have to go to the cause. When you start with the actual cause of something, it's like evolution theory. Evolution thinks that, well, everything started from once we get to the atom. After the atom, there's electrons and stuff around the atom. But after that, that's the smallest particle that we can see. Then there's string theory. That's just a theory that there's other little particles in there. Let me finish. And then what evolution tells you is that, well, wait, then it goes back to the Big Bang. The Big Bang. Well, wait, what? What's before the Big Bang? Something had to happen before the Big Bang, because without space, but no time, where would you put it? Without time but no space, where would you put it? So God is, everything had to come all together. Time, space, and matter. Everything as a continuum had to come together at the same time to then make the Big Bang, right? So that's the cause of what I just explained, right? So it's a continuum. Everything came together and then it made the Big Bang. But then what created that Big Bang, which was God? So you're speaking about the effects of something, talk about, well, men can't take accountability due to X, Y, B, and Z. But you forgot that women hold the key to sex, right? So she chooses the man who she sleeps with. So since she chose the man, that's the cause. You chose the man and you slept with that dude. You chose to sleep with a broke bum dude that isn't taking care of you. That's not the man's fault, because the men have a natural proclivity to spread their seed far and wide. We want quantity. You get what I'm saying? So we're going to try to hit and dash as many things as we can. That's just naturally in us. So the woman needs to have discernment and choose better men. But that discernment is going to come from God through the Father, then to her. That's what I'm saying. So it's a natural order to things. But at the end of the day, I'll land my plane there.
Okay. No, I totally agree with you, because the women does hold the ball, hold it and the ball in their court as far as giving men whatever. And I'm not saying that that's right. I'm not saying that that's right, but I'm saying Adam, no accountability. Adam not teaching his daughter discernment. Adam not covering his wife. Adam, that's what I'm more so getting at, and it's a lack of fathers, it's a lack of men stepping up because it's a lot of little boys and not enough men to hold themselves accountable. Like, listen,
so here, let me pause you right here, right? So you keep going back to this is what I'm saying. You're starting with the effects and you're not going to the cause. Do you believe women have agency?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you believe men have agency?
Yes.
Okay, so we are all human beings of agency.
Yes.
And this is how I'm about to rip you right here. With this cause, not just you in general, but with your statement. Not you. I'm not attacking you, just attacking your argument. We good. We vibing. So this is what I'm saying. So since women have agency, you're talking about the men need to have accountability for protecting the woman. There were only Adam and Eve, two individuals, right? And he's already protecting her from the wildebeest and everything else. She needs to have her own agency to not be influenced by other sources. So you're literally trying to take the accountability away from Eve. The accountability was on her. She was influenced. All human beings can be influenced. So she was influenced by the serpent. You get what I'm saying? She was influenced by the serpent, and then she influenced Eve. Then she influenced Adam. So what I'm saying is that Eve needs to take it. You trying to strip the accountability from Eve of why she was influenced because Adam wasn't there to protect her? No, it was only two people. He was there. Where else could he be? It isn't like he's just, flying somewhere or wandering the earth. No, they was there naming animals and stuff together. So
no, she wasn't there. Adam came, he did all of that, and then she came from his rib, meaning I have to protect this entity at all times. Adam had a relationship with the father that Eve did not even understand.
Okay, so you're telling me this, right? So this is what I'm saying. This is why I asked you, do you think women have agency? And you say
yes,
so look,
they do.
So since you think women have agency, that means that they have to have accountability, right? But you're trying to strip all the accountability away from Eve, literally all the accountability away. To not be she was influenced by the serpent. You're saying that, well, Adam should have been there to protect her, to not be. It doesn't matter. He can't. Eve came from his rib. How much protection do you want? What? Like, what I'm saying is, you need. This is the thing, right? Women. It's the feminine. No. Listen, real quick. It's this feminized energy, and I get what you're saying. I agree with the fact that men need to protect women. I'm not saying that men don't. But when you start to say that women don't have any agency, meaning that they don't have the ability to be conscious beings, to not be influenced by serpents or outside influences, it's just like, well, you do have the ability. The thing was, I truly believe God was gonna. The thing is this, right? The tree was there anyway, and then we're gonna move on to another topic. We kind of having like a religious debate right now.
Yeah, because it's contradictory.
We're get on to another topic, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
Here's
contradictory. Because you're going to say she have agency, but the man is supposed to lead. That's contradicting.
Okay. So that means that you can't wipe your own butt? Like, you gotta be able to wipe your own butt. Of course, we're not gonna be. You're not a kid. We're not gonna be wiping
decisions. You said men are supposed to be for the decisions, and she made a decision because Adam wasn't there. I'm just. Let's move forward. No, you should have been there. I just want to move forward. You're going to warn your daughter about crusty little boys that come up against her, correct?
Yes.
Now, do you sometimes have, now as being a man, do you feel like you would have a hard time talking to your daughter about the hard and tough subjects about being a man? Would you tell her your real dirt?
Yeah. That's the only way she'll understand men.
Okay, I agree.
She has to understand.
I agree. But most men don't even know how to talk to their children, talk to their little girls like this at all.
Well, that's why this podcast exists.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Thankful for that.
Yeah.
But
anyways, let's move
right
along. Adam and Eve. Hey, chat. Hey,
all right,
if you think I won that debate, put a 1. If you think she won a debate, put a 2. two. So if you think I won that religious debate about Adam and Eve, put a 1 if you think I won. If you think she won that religious debate, Lane, put the camera on her so it is here.
It's
If you think she won,
contradictory.
put it 2 in the chat.
Contradictory.
But anyways, we got a super chat. These a bunch of ones, of course.
Dang.
These are men
These
that are
are men.
speaking that has no accountability. Still boys.
Okay, so let's. It's a female that said it.
No.
Listen, one mic at a time. We got a super chat that came in. So from downtown, he sent them $5. From downtown said, that's not dangerous to say. God is the head of man and man is the head of woman. Why is that hard to understand? Okay, yeah, that's what we was talking about before with the whole religious thing. I think she understand that. She was just, I don't know. She get it, man.
That was you. That was her.
Oh, that could have been her. Okay.
Yeah,
I think she gets that too.
Both of y'all.
That was the dangerous part.
Intertwined.
Yeah, it was intertwined.
Yeah, it was intertwined because I was talking about other subjects, but
Yeah.
but still with that.
I don't get his question.
Good question. Yo, let's go to actually everyone on Facebook right now. I'm about to end this Facebook stream. We actually about to get into the first podcast, first question on the podcast. So we got 145 people on Facebook right now. I'm gonna put the link to the podcast. Well, actually, just type in No Fugazi on YouTube. Type in No Fugazi on YouTube, and you'll be able to bring up the podcast. But I'm closing out the Facebook stream right now. So go to YouTube. If y'all liking this, keep rocking with us. It's 11:10 p.m. We about to get into the first question on the panel. We about to still have some fun, and I'm still gonna be debating these women. So I'm closing out the Facebook stream. Go to YouTube. YouTube now. No Fugazi podcast. Fugazi. Fugazee. Fugazi. Hold up. Let me close this out. Yeah. You good. You stay on the same screen, Lane. All right, bet.
Yeah.
So let's see here. First question on the panel. Well, actually, I'm sorry. Let me give the other ladies a chance to speak because we was going back and forth for a while. Do y'all have anything y'all want to input on that or any other conversations or topics y'all wanted to bring up?
Right now, no.
Right now, no? Okay.
Yeah.
And actually, I know you had a question, right?
Honestly, I lost it.
Okay, yeah, I thought you
Yeah.
had. Okay, got you. All right, so let's get into a question on the panel. Since we're talking about a lot of stuff here today.
Actually, I'll ask it after. Ask your question, and then I'll ask it after. I
Actually,
remember it now.
let's do yours first.
Okay. You mentioned, I don't remember exactly what you said, but you mentioned something about how like you have a daughter and you're going to basically be a father figure or whatever. So I wanted to ask for the females who grew up without fathers, what's like your perspective? Like how are they different from those with fathers?
The females that grow up without fathers normally have daddy issues.
Right, but what does that mean?
Right. So what does that mean? So, well, we have the data. I mean, not even data. I'm sure you could see what happens in society where a woman grows up without a father around. She's more likely to indulge in degenerate behavior, stripper pole, sexualizing herself, not having any discernment. So choosing, men, making poor choices in men. So you need two parents in a household.
Right.
But data did come out that a single father household is just as good as a two parent household. So that tells us that, like, it's facts to it. It tells us that a man is just, I'm not going to use the word better, but when it comes to raising kids and instilling disciplined traits in kids, that normally comes from the man, right? And in order to not enact in degenerate behavior, it takes discipline. So where else would you get the discipline from if it seems like it's not coming from the mother? It's usually only coming from the father. So women that don't have a father, that was raised without a father, what they should do is watch this podcast.
Yeah, they definitely should.
But not only that, they should. There's a lot of books you could read and stuff like that too to help out with psychology books to help out with your mental mind frame. But I would say if it's one thing a woman can do, right, to that was raised without a father, is to have sexual temperance and know that your body is your true temple as a woman, and your value, your sexual value, not even just sexual value, all your mental value, everything is going to come from the way you behave with your body. So you need to have sexual temperance. That's what I truly
What
believe.
if the roles were switched? A guy growing up without a dad.
Oh, well, we know what that is. A guy growing up without a dad, he normally can't regulate his emotions. So they normally are more susceptible to sell drugs, do drugs, or, end up in prison by, robbing or stealing and stuff like that, doing degenerate behavior. Because you got to think about it. When the father isn't there, women are more likely to be on a stripper pole or to be sexualizing themselves. And for the man is more likely to, do degenerate behavior and sell drugs or do drugs, or, more likely to be in prison because he's robbing and stealing. So.
Or have no accountability with a woman and marry them, or have a successful relationship because they are damaged.
Can I say something,
Sure,
please? When you brought up like daddy issues, so for example, like, what if like your dad was present in your life as a kid, but like he didn't pay attention to you at all? He was always like working and busy, never said he loved you, this and that. And your mom basically took care of you, but now he wants a relationship in your life, and he still like doesn't like reach out or call you or text you. You have to be the one to reach out, and he never says he loves you. Why does that have to do with like your occupation? Like, I'm a dancer, but I started doing this like later in my life. So like, I'm like confused. My dad wasn't.
You got to think about it.
He lived with us, but he wasn't there emotionally for me.
He wasn't there.
So like when
he was there, but he wasn't there. So a man, a father, right? You got to think about it. Well, a mother could be there, but if she's not breastfeeding the baby, if she's not making food for the baby, if she's not giving any nurturing abilities to the baby, then it's like the mother wasn't there.
Right.
If the father is there, but he's not, instilling any decisiveness into the kids or disciplining the kids, because fathers are the true disciplinarians. Fathers keep the daughters off the stripper pole if they're disciplining them right, and sons out of prison if they're disciplining them right.
What if they like abuse them as a kid? Then what?
Yeah, we all know that there are situations where people are, born and raised without good families. We know this, right? And what she was alluding to, when things like that happen, when you're born in bad circumstances, you're born in America, so you need to be grateful. It's the best country in the world. It's a first world country, right? Where you have clean water everywhere. You get what I'm saying? There are countries where they don't even have clean water. They don't have anything. They don't have a pot to pee in. You get what I'm saying? So one, even if you come from a bad situation, because I was born and raised in the projects, I came from nothing, right? But I still was grateful of what I had. So one, you need to be grateful. But to even know how to be grateful and stuff, you need to seek God.
Because I am
even
grateful,
if you don't have a father or a family around, you are a conscious being, and you do know good from bad. You can decipher good from bad and, right from wrong. So one, you need to seek God, and that would give you guidance.
Right. And your take on like what you said, like, I don't know who asked it. Was it you or you about like a guy not having a father figure? And you said like they'll sell drugs or go to prison.
Is more likely.
So like, does that mean like, what if the dad was like treated their son like their best friend, but like they still got caught up in bad stuff later on? So what does that Like the dad like isolated.
What morals or
son.
principles was the father teaching the son? That's what you need
He
to
like
really look
isolated
at.
him from his social life. He wasn't allowed to have friends, this and that. And then he ends up like behind
Yeah,
bars,
Kaylee,
you know?
asking questions where it's like your questions are very like
I'm sorry.
well no, it's like personal questions where like that it's long drawn out answers that we'll have to give to like personal situations. It's like specific situations, right?
It's
So
not black and
that's
white. Basically.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Sorry.
generally
No, you're
speaking.
good.
We're speaking in generalities. It
Yeah.
just works better when the father is around, and of course the mother is
And
around
I feel
too.
like that's proven too.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
like
yeah.
proven,
Yeah.
but you know, there's situations where there's always exceptions to the rule,
Right.
where someone just wasn't raised in a good situation. But at the end of the day, if they're raised in America, it's a much better situation than millions, billions of people in the world. So you got to be grateful,
No,
and you
I
have to take accountability and still make something of yourself.
but I just wanted to like I was just wondering, do you think like when a dad says they don't like if a dad doesn't show their love to a kid, does that have like a long term
effect?
effect mentally on the kids?
Yeah, of
Either
course.
or, like mom
Either
or
my
dad.
Mom or dad, yeah, yeah.
Even
I
if
think-
like you're in a relationship and like if your partner never says I love you,
Yeah.
it's like, what, like why are you not saying you love me? You know, like I think that's gonna
Yeah.
mess with anybody.
Okay.
Like either way, I think
The best love is God love. You got to seek him. And I just say that because it sounds like, it doesn't even sound like, through multiple instances, if you do not have both of your parents in your house, you wind up looking for love in all the wrong places. And God gives you that discipline, that principles, that integrity and morals, and tell you how to move, which way you need to move.
Yeah, and not only that, right? Because you brung up something. I want to show you where your mental mind frame is. Because you brung up, and we could speak specifically now, right? So I'm guessing that you were raised and your father was there, but emotionally he wasn't there for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you were raised with your father, but he wasn't emotionally there. So you're pretty much saying that it kind of felt like you didn't have a father because you didn't have any guidance, and you still ended up on a stripper pole. But that's the reason why I'm saying that it's
Sorry,
the way
Louie.
you perceive things. The way you perceive things, you don't know how to accept a father's love. Let me ask you a question. Was your father paying for the bills and making sure the lights is on and providing food in the house and stuff like that?
My mom usually she was a stay-at-home mom, so she did the grocery shopping. Everything, and
Exactly.
he
That proves
just
my point
paid.
even further. That means that your
But he-
father, let me finish. That means that you lived in a traditional home, right?
Mhm.
And you still ended up on a stripper pole because you don't know how to digest a father's love. And I'm not saying that your father was perfect. Of course, you just explained that he didn't really, you
But
know.
he still cheated on my mom and had a double life.
Okay.
So like,
Totally fine. Let me finish. Martin Luther King cheated as well. He's still a great man. So let me make my point here, right? So what I'm saying is that you don't know how to accept a man's love, a father's love, is because the father's love comes through God. And the father's love comes the fact that your mom even had the ability to be a stay-at-home mom is the fact that I know that your father was a good father. Cuz guess what? My mom didn't have that choice.
okay.
Do you get what I'm saying? My mom didn't have that choice. My mom worked, I think, 6 jobs at one point. She didn't have no choice. But your mom did have a choice, and she could still instill. Your mom was instilling good traits into you. So it wasn't the fact that you didn't have a father. It was the fact that you made you made poor decisions in your life, and that what led you to the stripper pole. It wasn't mainly your father not being emotionally there for you, because your father was doing his job. Your father was literally think about all the people in the projects. Think about most homes. Most homes are raised most black people. Let me just say this here. Most black people are raised, I think it's 70%. 70% of black homes, don't quote me on this, it could be right, could be wrong. But it's a large percent of black people out there. They're raised without any father. So that means that the mother is working a multitude of jobs. You were raised literally silver spoon fed with your father working out there making the money and giving your mom the ability to stay at home and raise you. That's a great lifestyle. You should have a step ahead in life. but it's the way you're perceiving life. You're perceiving it in a way where it's like.
But he used to like chase.
Well,
me.
let me finish.
No,
let me finish. I get what you're saying. You talking about all the details of your dad and maybe he was a cheater and stuff like that, right?
But he was abusive too.
Okay.
So,
okay. Did he ever abuse you?
Yeah.
Okay. What, he whooped you?
No, I don't know if I hope he never sees this. He was very abusive to my mom too, like emotionally. He's punched a hole in my bedroom wall before. He's chased me up the stairs with a metal bat.
Did he hit you with the metal bat?
Almost.
Okay, so
But he did hit me with a wiffle ball bat. That fucking hurt.
Okay, cool. So your father hit you with a wiffle ball. That's the plastic bat, right? That's what we call whooping. That's a regular whooping. So you got a regular whooping. Kaylee, this is what I'm trying to say. Kaylee, listen.
William?
You got a regular, your father did regular discipline. He disciplined you regularly in life as a father should be disciplining a child that's being disobedient.
I don't believe in hitting a kid.
Okay,
period.
well, maybe
you
that's
can scream at them.
I mean,
okay, cool.
It depends on the situation.
Yeah, got you.
Spit a rod.
Yeah.
And Lane, back and forth too. But listen, this is what I'm saying, Kaylee. You were literally raised with a masculine man.
He was mean all the time.
Okay, well, let me finish. You're still looking at the pro. You're still looking at the cons. Right. It's how you perceive things. You're still looking at the cons. Well, he was mean, and he hit me with he hit me with this, and he chased me. He didn't even do anything to you. You got regular guidance from a father and a regularly disciplinarian. He was disciplining you like every father does. That's what I'm trying to say. But here, I land my plane here, right? And it could be certain things that maybe you're not sharing. That's fair and all, fine and dandy. But generally speaking, in your situation, generally speaking, your father was still there in the household, and he was there so much that he gave the ability. Your mom had the ability to not work. You weren't raised in a daycare. There are people raised in daycares. There are people raised in foster care homes. What I'm saying is that you're perceiving life and the glass is half empty, then the glass is half full. I'll say this. If most black people had your situation of how they were raised, it'll be a lot more billionaires in America. It'll be a lot more black billionaires in America. It'll be a lot more black successful people in America, even if they had your, childhood, your upbringing. You had two parents in the household, and your father was masculine enough to allow your mom not to work. Of course, there's going to be cons to the relationship that they had, and even the way he's parenting. But you still was a step ahead of most Americans.
Okay, but you don't have to.
No, but listen, and you still ended up on a stripper pole. So this is what I'm saying. You have to take accountability.
No,
you got to take accountability.
It has nothing to do with him. Why I did this job.
Women have been like hurt from domestic violence sex. Like I hear what she's saying, and you can't say that it's because of her perception, because everybody is not built to handle. A lot of women we've been sexually, I haven't been, but maybe a lot of women have been sexually assaulted or physically abused, and going through these things throughout the life. Her watching her mom go through that, being abused,
we didn't even
that's
hear
traumatizing.
I feel like he's just trying to say.
You want me to say it?
No, you're fine. You don't have to give your business out there like that.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
you don't. I think saying it's traumatizing.
No, it is, but
that's all I'm saying.
I think it just really depends. Like, I grew up without my parents. I have hella siblings. I don't have either of my parents. My grandparents that raised me just got divorced. So, like, I've been through a lot of shit too. But it's like how the things that happen to you, you need to learn how to, like, grow from it. Basically, like, you can't let what happened to you define you. And I think that's what he's trying to say. Like, it's the decisions you make based off what's happened to you. You either grow from it or you let it take over and you have this cloud over you, but it doesn't mean like what you're doing is wrong.
No, like, but I chose this job because it's fun for me,
and that's great. Like, if that's what you like to do, that's great.
Daily fun.
I'm not a whore or anything.
No, I don't think anyone believes that here, but I think it's also important
on the internet
that
they believe it, because a lot of the people in the comments,
I'm sure they do.
Let me say this: a lot of them are probably bum fucks, excuse my French, alone in the basement with no life, live with their parents still, and are hiding behind a damn keyboard. You got nothing to
that.
You got nothing
And
to
I
say.
don't think you should listen
Never
to
had
what
sex
the
or have
internet
a
is
girlfriend.
saying, but I think it's also
Sorry.
important that we validate your feelings. Yes, she probably didn't have the same experiences as most Black children do in America,
No.
right?
Most children, most she didn't have the experience. Her experience was better than most human beings in the world.
But that doesn't mean that
Lean. Need you active. Her experiences was better than most human beings in the world. So, and I'll let you finish real quick because I need y'all to, because I see that you want to coddle her feelings. This isn't
it's not about.
Well, so this is what I'm saying, right? Feelings isn't tangible. Feelings isn't necessary.
But for a woman, it leads them into bad decisions, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. It leads them into bad decisions. So it's not about coddling the feelings. It's about giving a reality response to what's going on. So all I'm saying to you, Kaylee, is that, yeah, in your eyes, you had a bad upbringing, right? But the reality is you had a better upbringing than 95% of human beings in the world. That's what I'm saying. And in America, probably, 50% of human beings in America. So it's about how you're perceiving it. It's your perception of it, right? But not only your perception, what I wanted to say is that you can't see the goodness that your father was doing is because you don't know how to accept a man's love. And the reason why you don't know how to accept a man's love is your father a religious person? No? Okay, cool. He isn't, right? So obviously your father isn't being led by God, which is then he's instilling the godly traits into you and showing you how to love a man because God loves comes through the man. But I'll tell you this, your father was still doing his job, his masculine duties of raising you. He literally paid for all
he only knows how to buy my love by money. Still to this day.
Listen.
Just saying.
What I'm saying is that he sacrificed to make money. You have to sacrifice your time to make money. He sacrificed his time to put a roof over your head and give your mother the ability to not work, because that's what it is. So he did the biggest sacrifice, is giving you the ability to live comfortable. You get what I'm saying? Because guess what? There are millions of human beings in this world that can't live comfortable. So since you have a comfortable life, you're perceiving things that it's negative, but in reality is that it's actually it's positive.
It is negative. Don't try to make it seem like if it was positive, it's
They're
negative.
saying like abuse is okay.
Just because
I'm saying that is more positive than it was negative.
Yes, but I also think there is. I get what you're saying.
Somebody else's life.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Well, then it's based off of perception. It's the ability to perceive things. We all know that human beings perceive things differently. Remember the dress? It was the gold. So we all know that we perceive things differently, right? So all I'm saying is, hey, Kaylee, I get what you're saying. We hear you. But if you change your perspective about it,
yes,
you may feel differently about it.
And that's what you have to do, though, because you have to think like someone's always going through something worse than you, you know?
Oh, I know.
So
but just because the father was providing for her financially and doing everything that he had to do as a man, what about the emotional aspect?
I'm saying that. I already said that he slacked off on other things. Totally
I think
fine.
that's
Totally
what she's human. With the most.
Yeah, that's okay. That's cool. But think about it. He did something that most fathers can't do at all.
I know, but from her perspective in her life, like the thing is that emotional aspect wasn't there, and that's what she's bothered with. We get it that like.
Then it's very simple. Look, because I got to give guidance here, because y'all talking, but there's no guidance. Because we're going to move on to the next topic. Very simple. Change your perspective. That simple. Change your perspective and you'll start living life differently and you'll start, dang, Pops, instead of waiting on your dad to hit you up, you'll be like, Dad, thank you, Father. Thank you for, giving me the comfortable life that you gave me. Yeah, I know you wasn't perfect. I know there was cons, but thank you for the pros that you did give me, because I know that most people weren't raised the way I was raised.
I totally
That's
agree.
all I'm saying. If you change your perspective of it, you'll change the way you feel about it.
Right.
And then you'll be like, okay, well, he wasn't so bad. But let's move it right along. Hey, chat, send in some super chats, man. We got 4 lovely ladies on the panel. If y'all got any questions or comments, send in the super chat. I'll read your question or comment. But let's get into a question on the panel. We're gonna go with yourself, you.
You don't know my name.
Dean. Ava?
Yourself.
Ayla.
Ayla. Sorry,
Yes.
I'm bad with names. Ayla.
Yes.
Dean, should I ask this question or not?
Oh no.
I guess we could. We talking about men and women. It's kind of on a subject. Who's better at self-improvement, men or women?
I'm not a man, so I feel like I can't speak from a man's perspective.
Not a man
But-
perspective, but if you had to choose, it's just your opinion.
That's kind of a hard question. I feel like it depends on what they're trying to improve on. But
Just in
I
general.
will admit, I think females in general are more emotional. And I think that gets in the way of them improving. So I guess in that aspect, I think sometimes emotions can hold. Like, I know for me personally, like sometimes that holds me back from making improvements because I'll like overthink something or I'll be more emotional towards something.
Okay.
So I honestly think I may say men in that situation, but I do think it depends because all people are different. So some females may not be as emotional. So they may
Got
be
you. But generally speaking, you would say
possibly men. And I feel
Men,
like
okay.
that's just also through like you said earlier, like men create a lot. They're usually like the head of everything. So I think, I would say men.
hey, ladies, where y'all going?
She needs to take a minute at the bathroom.
All right, are you where are you going?
I'm gonna make sure she's.
Yeah, but we running a podcast. If she's not good, then I need you because we going around the panel. She fine. She has agency. She'll be okay. And that's for she needs to take accountability. But guess what? If I was a woman sitting in the seat leading the podcast, I'd be like, yeah, go. Let's know time out. Let's end the live stream. We're gonna go ahead and comfort
Emotion.
her.
Like I said,
You know, everything is we gonna go ahead and comfort this woman. If I was a woman up here, but no, I'm a man up here. She's a woman of agency. She'll be fine, and she's totally good. We was talking about a touchy, and she's totally okay to be crying. That's totally fine for her. That's a feminine thing to do. We were talking about a touchy.
It's not a bad feminine. Don't do
touchy,
that.
It was a touchy subject about her.
But don't
her,
they?
It's a feminine thing to do.
cry.
Because that's the problem now. Men is not crying. They running through their emotions and just running through, not facing stuff.
Well, that's incorrect. That's why you need guidance, because someone that cries, that means that they don't have the ability to have control of their emotions, right? So if you don't have the ability to have control of your emotions, then obviously you will you would dwell in your emotions, and then your emotions will spill out like she's doing, which is crying. So you saying that that's the problem with men nowadays? No, the problem with men nowadays is that they're more emotional. An emotional man ends up in prison. An emotional man would steal something. An emotional man will punch you in the face for saying something maybe that he doesn't like because it triggered his emotion. An emotional man will be hitting a woman. A masculine man, a man of stoicism.
A masculine man would cry.
A masculine man, a man of stoicism.
A masculine man would cry.
A masculine. Let me finish. A masculine. What? Okay. Guidance here. Please listen to what I'm saying. Right. All I'm saying is this: God gave us emotions, and it isn't a good thing. The only stuff that's good for emotions is love, joy, happiness, peace, and that's about it.
Emotions
having the ability to feel good about something when you win an award, having the ability to feel good about something, or when you give money to charity, that makes you feel good and it makes other people feel good. So that's joyful. Those emotions is a good thing that God granted.
You have to have the bad and the good to
one mic at a time. The
Go
other emotions that God granted us with, think about it. They're not good. Anyone that dwells in their emotions can't make decisions, or they make the wrong decisions. They can't they have no discernment. They don't have any judgment. They can't judge anything. So I'm saying that you just said that a a man, that's a problem with society nowadays because men are not emotional. I'm saying that that's incorrect. The problem with this society is because men are more emotional. The entire black community of men are the most emotional men.
Very
Most emotional
emotional,
men.
but they're hiding it inside.
And that's the issue, hiding it inside,
and
shoving
not
it down,
crying
that
and
brings
letting
out-
it out.
When you let it, this is very simple. When you let it out, they go to prison. When you let it out, they shoot up a school. When you let it out, they steal. That's when they let it out.
But to me, I think when they don't let it out, that's when all of that happens.
happens.
All that anger, all that
That's
frustration
incorrect.
comes
That's incorrect.
out.
There is no frustration. You're looking at it. You're looking at it all wrong. Emotionally intelligent, an emotional intelligent individual. What does intelligence mean? Intelligence is a high competence level, right? Having the ability to be able to, it's competence. Have the ability to be able to discern something and make a decision and move swiftly and quickly and decisive on things, but also look at things from maybe you need to do from a quality perspective, maybe not rather than from a quantity perspective sometimes. So that's competence, right? So that's intelligence. So then pretty much intelligence is the ability to, what does it say? Pretty much quantify something in a fast and quick way. And then you got to put emotions with that. So emotions will be the person that has the ability to be able to do things and make decisions despite how they feel. That's an emotional intelligent person. The emotional intelligent person gets things done, acts a certain way despite how they feel. Because we are all emotional beings, so we're all going to be in our feelings, right? So you're saying that, well, no, those people that hold their emotions in, they just going to let it outburst. What I'm saying that's totally incorrect. The correct way is that no matter how I feel today, I'm going to go to the gym. No matter how I feel today, I'm going to work. No matter how I feel today, I'm going to cook food for the family. The woman's going to cook food for the family and stuff like that and nurture the kids. So despite how you feel, you need to get stuff done. That's an emotional intelligent person.
Yes, but
So
if you're holding
about
on
dwelling in emotions, that's something like that doesn't make any sense.
Dwelling in emotion and crying for release are two different things, and every person needed. David in the Bible went through it. He done cried a couple of times. You having men walk around like robots, like if they don't have any. No, it is, because you saying that a man is not supposed to cry. That is a problem. Men are not crying. They're moving. They're hard. They're cold, and they're stale. And that's the lacking of the love that she's feeling. Somebody who doesn't know that. As a parent, as a father, coming to you, as many a times where he say, let it out. Like fathers, I've seen fathers go up to other young men and say, let it out, because it's hard being a man.
It is.
It's hard. Seriously.
Yes.
And always telling men.
Yeah, that's like, at the end of the day, I'm not saying that men can't cry. No one's saying that. No one's saying that men don't cry.
Okay.
I'm not saying that men can't cry and don't cry. Men do cry, and men can cry. But all I'm saying that is crying, do you get anything done? Do you solve any problems crying? This is the problem with the woman in the feminine mindset, because she thinks that in order for me to survive, I need to dwell in something and not get anything done. And that's okay for a girl. You were built like that. You have more estrogen than us. Totally fine. Go ahead and cry, woman. Kaylee's out there. She's crying. Good for her. Let it out. Yeah. All I'm saying that as a man, right, men shouldn't be out there dwelling in their emotions and letting think about it. You're crying. A man sitting there crying, even by himself. You're not getting nothing done. Why are you crying? Well, obviously you're crying because something didn't get done. No, stop there. Obviously you're crying because something isn't going right the way you had it planned, because something wasn't done. And you're sitting there crying instead of getting something done. It doesn't make any sense. It's nonsense. That's what it is.
But I still think it's okay to release that frustration and emotion.
Yeah, go ahead, it's great. But I don't recommend any man to cry. I recommend them to get things done.
Wait, so you think...
Why are you sitting there crying for as a man? As a woman, totally different.
No, I'm not
I think
saying
women. Here's what I'm saying. I think women should let it out. That's their
men
outlet.
need to let it out too. But I'm saying right now you can still hold your composure. Like that's a breakdown. There's other ways that you can release that, and that's what I'm saying. As far as the men, a man still needs to cry. I thought you were saying that you were saying like men totally can't cry or anything like that. No. They need to release too.
I'll say this, and I'll let you go real quick. I'll just speak about myself because this is where it comes from. My grandfather died. I didn't cry. I didn't cry at any funeral. And I'm the youngest person in my family, and I didn't cry. My great grandfather died, didn't cry. My uncle died, didn't cry. My aunt died, didn't cry. My grandmother died, didn't cry. My great grandmother died. She lived to be 110, didn't cry. It wasn't about I didn't have any emotions. I was extremely emotional. But I knew that my mom was a single mom with no man around, and her family members are passing away. So I know that I needed to be strong for my mother. Because it's a man in me. You get what I'm saying? It's a man in me. So that's the thing. It's not that you don't have emotions. It's not that I don't have emotions. I just have the capacity to still do what I need to do despite how I feel. And that is stoicism. That is okay.
I think every person needs that. Like, it could still move and do what they do.
Yeah. And but what I'm saying, I'm not, the thing is here, because we went to Kaylee, like y'all reacted to Kaylee, walking off to go ahead and cry, right? And I said that that's okay. Let her cry. And you was going to go console her. That's the word, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You was gonna go ahead and console. Like I don't. I'm so masculine. I don't even know what the word console means. But listen, you was gonna go ahead and console Kaylee. I said, well, I didn't know what you was doing, so I said, well, she's fine. She's a woman of agency. Let her get it out. I'm aware that she needs to get it out because I know it's a touchy topic, and this her third time being here. I know Kaylee. The audience knows Kaylee. It's totally fine, right?
Okay.
She'll be okay. Kaylee's good. But with you going over there to console her, I'm saying, yo, stay, you good. And then y'all go ahead and say, well, and then I say she needs to do that. It's feminine for her to do that. Y'all go ahead and get on me for using the word, for putting femininity on crying. That's where all of this started from. So y'all got not irate, but y'all had a point of contention of me putting the word femininity on crying. And truth be told, it is.
But I just don't want men out there to just think that
it is.
No.
I don't think he's saying that though. But think about it. If you see a guy crying, you're gonna be like,
nigga, what you doing?
No, not me.
That's society.
No.
That's society, though. That's society. It's like, yo.
I don't.
So you see a guy, you're gonna cuff him if you see him crying on the street.
Yes.
Girl, I know that's not true.
I'm a man. If my man, if any man,
That's just like, I'm not saying it's
men
bad.
do need to cry. I'm not saying do it publicly and go through your emotion as a man.
Yeah.
I thought he was saying that men don't cry in general.
or shouldn't cry. That's what I thought you were saying.
We're human beings.
We're human beings. But that's the whole point of keeping yourself at what's the word I'm looking for? Keeping your mind frame in the right source and keeping it together.
You have it.
I just want there to know that it's okay to be vulnerable. That's what I'm saying. At least me, I'm not gonna look at a man any different if he decides to cry.
Right.
But like, there's people out there who would, and I'm like, and then that just makes men in our society just hold everything in, which I think is okay.
Quick,
Yeah.
Because you saying that you want men to know that it's okay to be vulnerable. The facts is that you're not attracted to a man that's vulnerable. The guys that's vulnerable. Okay. Well, let me ask you a question. If you're attracted to guys that's vulnerable, if a man came up to you and he's like, hey, he's like, not confident, and he's like, vulnerable with you. He's like, hey, well, kind of talking to you and telling you his life, but he's trying to get to know you. He wants to talk to you. He's like, yeah, my last girl, she cheated on me,
Okay.
and that didn't go well, and well, I like you. You're beautiful, and maybe I want to get to know you and take you out sometime. Are you okay with that? He's being vulnerable with you. would you choose that? Would you let that man take you out?
I would let that man take me
Okay,
out.
that is extremely no food. That is extremely fugazi because the reason why it's fugazi is because women are naturally uh can sense and are socially aware to a weak male, to a non-confident man. And not only that, the non-confident guys seem like creeps to women.
Okay.
So if you think about it deeply, a man that isn't confident and walking up to you vulnerable, trying to approach you to talk to you, you would think that he's awkward and he will be a socially awkward person.
But
is what I'm
it's
saying.
like, is there a difference? I feel like there's a difference between a man not being confident and a man being vulnerable.
Well, if a man is being vulnerable, therefore by default he's not being confident.
But I just don't see how that can like
There's-
coincide.
I think there is a difference.
No, it's no difference. If a man is being vulnerable, by default he is not confident at that time. If I'm confident in how I feel about what in the situation I am in, vulnerability wouldn't exist.
Okay.
You get it? It's.
I mean, I
vulnerability and confidence are it can't go together. It's an oxymoron together. It's on two different spectrums.
But if a man confidently approached me and we were just having a conference, he was confident and he's approaching me and he's being vulnerable to me about what's going on in his life, and he's saying and he's doing it with confidence.
There's
That's
no
how
way
I
to
see
do it
it.
with confidence. There's no way to do it. There's no way to say, "Oh, hey, what you do for a living?" Yeah, I ain't got a job. I ain't got no job. You're gonna be like Tommy from Martin. Dang, Tommy, you ain't got no dang job.
I
There
mean,
ain't no
but
way,
like,
Tommy.
I don't got a job.
You
Said that
kinda young.
with confidence.
You kind of young. Did you see Martin?
I did see Martin. I do know Martin.
I forgot you kind of young.
Hmm.
About what he did.
Okay.
He says, I lose my job and start crying in front of you.
Lane, move that mic over there because they can't hear you. That mic, Kaylee's mic, just turn it. I got you.
My bad.
And he just starts crying in front of me on the first date.
Yeah, the first date.
I don't think on the first date I would be attracted to that man. But like, let's say we get to know
That's
each other and
vulnerability, though.
let's say he gets to know we get to know each other and he starts to become vulnerable with me. I believe that's okay. But on the first date, I'm not gonna air out my whole life story to someone.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. So all I'm
yeah.
saying is this too, right? Even in a full blown relationship, if your man came home complaining to you, like, "Oh, baby, I don't know what to do. I just lost my job. I don't know what to do, baby." Would you rather prefer the man complain about him losing the job? So it's one guy, two scenarios, right? The first scenario is guy comes home and he's, "Oh, baby, I don't know what to do. I just lost my job. I don't know how we gonna make rent. Oh, this is going on. Dang." That's the first situation. The second situation is, "Hey, baby, had a little situation. Actually, gonna be getting another job now. Gonna be starting a new job. That other job didn't work out, but I got something else going on. Things gonna be okay." Which one would you prefer?
I think that's kind of complicated for me because with the first situation, I'm glad that guy is coming to me with his emotions and telling me what's going on. With the second situation, the guy is coming to me telling
With the problem, the guy is coming to you with the problem solved. That you will choose
and that's
the second
great.
situation.
Don't give me
No, so
wrong,
this is
but
what
the
I'm
first
saying.
situation
This is
is I'm glad I'm an outlet for the person I'm being
okay,
with.
okay, great.
Women want to
Great.
be needed, and I think what she's trying to say, she
to a
wants
man's
that,
emotions.
yeah, that
Yeah,
vulnerability.
that's totally fine.
Okay.
Women want to be needed with past events. So it's okay for a man to tell a girl a story where in his past, like, I was I was raised
said
I was raised super broke, in a projects and life wasn't good. Actually, just 5 years ago, I was homeless, but and I'm telling her that story, but now we living in a big old house and I'm driving a nice car. But I'm telling her a story about a past event where I was vulnerable. Women are okay with situations like that, talking about past situations. But a current situation, and you're being vulnerable with the girl, there's a very high probability that she will lose attraction for that man if the man is vulnerable with her.
I can only speak for myself. I don't think I'm gonna lose that attraction.
Okay,
I'd
guess
just
what?
be happy that like this man is
Naked
open enough to tell
truth.
me what's going on
And guess
being
what?
honest.
You could be an exception to the rule where maybe you do want to experience more of an emotional side, vulnerable side from the guy. That's an exception to the rule. Some girls may like that. But generally speaking, women want a man to lead. And a man that is a leader, in order to be a leader, well, if I'm the captain of the ship and there's an iceberg that's about to put it like this.
This
Not
is
even
why
that.
man
I'll say
needs
this.
woman lead with her.
Yeah, well,
Like,
not only that, I'll say this. If we in the army, I'm the sergeant, and there's war going on. It's bombs going on, boom, 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 boom. And I know it's not a high probability, but there's a probability, small probability that we may not make it out of there. And I'm over here vulnerable to my troops, like, oh, bro, I don't know what to do. Man, what's going on? And I'm looking to them for guidance. They'll be like, Sergeant, what's going on? They'll be looking for another leader then, because I wouldn't have the ability to lead them. So what I'm saying, that a man being vulnerable with his woman and talking about these problems instead of having the ability to solve the problem, it isn't the best situation for the woman's emotions. Okay. Because we know that women are slaves to their emotions. So let's put this all together. You are more emotional than I am. So if I can't handle something and I'm supposed to be the rock, then guess what? You're going to be more emotional than I am.
I don't think so. I don't think I'd be more emotional.
No. You don't think so, but you will be, because you are naturally more of an emotional creature than any male.
Maybe I will be emotional, right? Biology, I'll be more emotional than you, but it's not going to be like, oh, you don't know what to do. What do I do? What's going on? What's going to happen? It's more just going to be like, hey, babe, I'm going to help you out too.
You're arguing for something that you don't even want anyway. You're just arguing for like that exception, like, well, it'd be cool. I'll accept it if
I want an emotional and vulnerable man.
Okay, so if you want an emotional vulnerable man, guess what? Why are you single? Because there's millions of them right now. There's a lot of them in your DMs. Guess what? Those emotional vulnerable men, they broke. They don't got no job. There's a lot of broke niggas right now in your DMs. Why are you single?
I'm single because I'm choosing to be single.
You single because you don't want those emotional vulnerable men.
No. There's a difference between an emotional and vulnerable man that's broke and an emotional and vulnerable man that has his life together.
An emotional, vulnerable man that has his life together?
Yeah. You can be vulnerable and emotional.
Inherit that money, or how did he make his resources? Because an emotional...
He's basing everything off of money. That's the problem.
Well, it takes competence, assertiveness, dominance, and masculinity, which is a degree of stoicism to make resources. Only 20% of the population makes $100,000 a year. The reason why I'm talking about money is because only 20% of human beings in America is making six figures.
But I feel like they're saying it's so black and white. It's like, if you're not emotional and vulnerable, if you are emotional and vulnerable, then you're broke and you're lame and you don't got nothing going on.
If you are emotional and vulnerable, how can you get anything done is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
Powerful
but when it comes to your other half, you're supposed to be emotional and vulnerable. And I think that's the problem. What you can do.
Powerful women I think the women that make money, besides not sexualizing themselves, I think that those women have masculine characteristic traits like A-type personality, assertive, dominant, and non-agreeable.
But you also said that women are more...
Let me finish, and they have the ability, because you're not listening. They have the ability, these women have the ability, the women that are making more than six figures or more, in order to make money, you need the ability to have competence.
Yes.
Right? So if you have competence, then you also need to make money, you need to be disciplined. You need to be decisive, meaning make a decision. You need to be assertive, means, motivated and steadfast. You need to be dominant to a degree, right? That's how you make money. And guess what I'm saying? The traits that it takes to make the money, only 20% of the population in America has those traits. That's why then they make the money. But here's what I'm saying. Men normally are in that 20% is because they naturally have the non-agreeableness, A-type personality, assertive and dominant. When women take on those characteristic traits, right? When you embody those characteristic traits, you have control over your emotions to a higher degree than most people. Because the people that are emotional and are vulnerable, they can't get anything done because they're dissolving in their emotions. Do you get what I'm saying? So it
I
all
get
ties, what I'm saying is that it all ties hand in hand to have the ability to make finances. You're just speaking about something, but you're not putting in like what it takes to make the money.
No, but I get what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying. I think those characteristics are a good list of a way to make that money.
And they're masculine characteristic traits is what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's why most women that are making money, they normally have masculine tendencies.
But I feel like
if they're not sexualizing
the difference
themselves.
between your opinion and my opinion is that with your opinion, it's either or. I think with my opinion, it's you can have both. You can have those masculine traits and make that money, but also be able to be emotional when it's time and vulnerable when it's time as well.
Yeah, as a woman, that's totally fine. It's good for a woman to be emotional, but you're talking about a man. You ladies aren't men, and I can
But
tell
I also feel like I know men who are emotional and vulnerable and also make six figures.
Okay, that's totally fine. They're emotional and vulnerable, and they make six figures. Let's just speak about it. So we all know that there's two sides to the parties right now. There's the Republican side and the Democratic side. There's smart Democrats out there, left-wing mindset, and they have a victim mindset, and they're fairly emotional men and emotional women. They're usually more emotional than the right wing, right? Okay. And they seek emotions, like they quick to go ahead and console someone. They're, all of these things, which is totally fine. We know that human beings can still succeed in life and be emotional. We know this because we are human beings. We are emotional human.
That's what
creatures.
I'm trying to get at.
All I'm saying that is to have a higher probability of success, you need to have a degree of, you need to have the ability to have control of your emotions. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just
and
out there being vulnerable and crying, because we talk about dating and relationships. My point is that you brung up, and Lane, bring it back and forth too. My point is that you brung up that a man, it's okay for a man to be emotional, and I'll let you have that. You want an emotional man, cool, but that's why you single, because
that's
you don't really want
single,
those emotional men.
But I think a man can be emotional.
Yeah, cool. And here's what I'm saying though too. In the relationship part, you're talking about emotions. My point is that it's not a good thing for a man to be emotional. To get to get good outcomes in a relationship, the man should be stoic. The man should have full control of his emotions and act despite how he feels. Not act because he feels, or not or don't act because he feels. The man should still make moves and get things done despite how he feels. That's all I'm saying. You're talking about being vulnerable. Emotions, and then think about vulnerable. Vulnerable is like, I mean, we can speak about it from a lot of standpoints, but the way we were speaking about it, he's like dwelling in his emotions.
I don't think I meant to stir the conversation into dwelling into his emotions. Yeah. It's more having that ability to get that emotions out. Like, I feel like men should be able to and feel comfortable to release that emotion, but that doesn't mean they're going to dwell on it. Like, yes, release it onto the next step, but I want it to make it known that it's okay for that release to happen.
Yeah, for you, great. For most men, they shouldn't be vulnerable to any woman at all. It just doesn't work in a relationship. It isn't good advice for any human being. It isn't. Being vulnerable and being emotional, it isn't good advice for a man or a woman. That's just the facts, because you can't get anything done.
Okay.
That's just the facts. And then not only that, if you have kids and you're being emotional around your kids, then it's just like, wait, what the freak? Now your kids see an emotional, vulnerable mom or an emotional, vulnerable man.
Can I say something?
Makes no
real
sense.
quick?
Just before you go, she's been waiting to speak, and I'll let you go.
Okay.
I think I get your side, and actually do kind of agree with him, just because I'm thinking of like, if you have a very emotional like parent, like you can have somebody who's vulnerable and they don't dwell, like he said. Like if you have a man coming home saying like, babe, like he said, like I lost my job, but if he has a solution to it, it's like that's stability right there. You know he's gonna figure it out. Same thing with a female. If she lost her job, it's like, dang, I'm in a situation, but I'm gonna figure it out. But if you have somebody who's constantly emotional and it's like they're just crying about everything or they're just complaining about everything, he's right. Like they're not gonna.
And I get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying. But like I said before, it's more, I need people to know that it's okay that that vulnerability comes out, it is released. I'm not saying dwell on it, stay in your seat, cry all day.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you need to, like, releasing that emotion is okay. Yes, go on to the next step, but like, let's make it a safe space for men to actually be able to release.
But even as a,
that's the thing that I totally disagree with, right? Like that. Remember you was talking about dangerous? That's
but why?
No, stop.
manipulation.
Ladies, I need you to understand this because we could see it. We all have social media. It is extremely dangerous for a man to be emotional. All the school shooters are
but in a relationship.
Listen. In general, forget a relationship. Most of the school shooters came from single mother households. One, I think, besides two of the school shooters didn't come from a single mother household. So that means that we all know that women are more emotional. So she instilled those emotional traits into that kid. And we all know that most of those people that were shooting up schools are going into Walmart and killing people. We all know that those human beings that were doing that was emotional people. They were incels, or they were like, not emotionally calibrated or socially calibrated people. They were like awkward type of individuals and emotional dwelling people. And then not only that, every man that you see in prison is an emotional man. So you telling people, this is how dangerous it is. You're telling people that, hey, it's okay to be emotional. You could be emotional.
No, I think
so. Listen. But just if you telling a woman that, okay, because one, we in society, women are gonna be saved. They got a vagina. Some simp is gonna pick them up. She could be emotional and vulnerable. That's why we don't really see women that are bums out on the streets. We normally see men that are bums. We don't usually see a whole lot of women that are bums, because they got a vagina, so they always got a place to stay. But so go ahead. It's okay for her to be emotional. But the man is not okay for him to be emotional, because men, we have the ability, we all have aggression, right? But when men have, and there's scientific studies on this, when men are aggressive and they're acting in aggressive ways, it's normally physical. When women act in aggressive ways, it's normally verbal aggressiveness, right? And innuendo, where they like, do certain like gestures to like show that they like, they're having an emotional response to what you're doing or what you're saying, right? So women and men show aggression differently, but it all comes from emotions, right? Because aggression is an emotion. So when a man is emotional, he shows his aggression in physical. That's why there's school shooters. That's why there's people in prison. That's why all, bad things happen in society. So a man being emotional is not a good thing. We want to lean society away from that, not towards it, because society is leaning towards that way right now anyway. That's why there's a lot of beta simp males out there that can't lead a relationship, and also a lot of men in prison.
I don't think that she necessarily meant being emotional in that tense. As far as like what you're saying, and emotional men, they need to release it. They need to find different outlets to release it.
Well, yeah, that's
Positive.
why this podcast exists.
Yeah.
I do coaching. If I coach guys all the time, and on a phone call, they're going through situations with the lady. They let it out to me, and that's totally fine. But they don't let it out to their woman. And I tell them, hey, don't ever cry in front of your woman.
I don't think
I
totally disagree with that.
One, you shouldn't be crying at all. You should be trying to solve things, because you're just wasting time shedding tears. Time is money. What are you doing? So, one, you should be doing other things besides crying. But if you are going to cry, cry to another man. Don't cry to a woman, because women have an innate reaction to lose attraction. Not generally speaking, not all, but generally speaking, women tend to lose attraction to vulnerable men. And that's just a fact. Not all,
And I think
but
that's
generally
sad.
speaking, that is. It's
It
not
is sad, but it's like
It is what it is.
I feel like it's more so about not having a real relationship. That means, like, what is your relationship based upon? If your relationship is not based upon truth, then you don't really have a real relationship. If my husband came to me and he was going through something and just wanted to let it out and cry, like, that would be okay for me, for him to
And
do.
it should be okay.
And for those who believe that they shouldn't, then they don't have a real woman that can handle him to his full capacity.
Well, a woman shouldn't be handling no man.
Help their man. They supposed to
A
help
woman
their
can't
man.
help a man with his emotions.
Yeah. Well, this is what we were sitting here to help the man. And it's a lot
No,
of
'cause
times.
think about it. No one can help you with your emotions because it's your emotions. Only you can help you with your emotions.
Yeah, but
So-
you can guide them.
No, you can't guide no one with emotions. If you're an emotional human being, it's very simple. You need to be more disciplined. Get in the gym. You're emotional for some. Think about it. You're emotional.
Therapy.
Listen. You're emotional for some reason, right? Because things in life isn't going your way. That's why you're emotional. So think about it. Since things in life isn't going your way, because that's why you're emotional, then that means that you need to change your behavior. Guess what? You need to tighten up and be more disciplined.
Yeah.
Well, what aren't you not disciplined in? Where's your vices? Are you smoking? Are you drinking? Are you masturbating? Are you doing some degenerate behavior, putting your mind in a place where it shouldn't be, which is then internally making you more emotional? So guess what? Only you can figure out your own emotions, but guess what? It takes discipline. So what I tell the men and women, be more disciplined. Don't just dissolve in your emotions and be a vulnerable human being out here and sobbing. God doesn't want that. You think God wants you to be a vulnerable human being, being idle? Because if you're emotional, you're idle. God wants you to move in to be better and to be great. If you're emotional, you're idle. How can you get anything done if you're an idle human being? So it makes no sense. It's not in any religious text to be emotional. No religious text says be emotional.
I'm saying this is why people, when they get into a covenant, it's okay to let loose. This is why when you speak to God and you're in a covenant with him, this is why he talks about the husband and stuff like that, because you can let loose to him. You can let loose to your woman. I'm talking about, like, the relationship, the person that you are with. I'm not saying go out in the world and cry to the world about, you have to have that emotional vulnerability with the woman you plan to spend the rest of your life with, because if not, she doesn't know the real you. All those layers is just a facade. She wouldn't know the real you if you can't come to her and tell her
I'll
nothing.
tell you this. We are not our emotions. We are what we do. Stop it there. We are not our emotions. We are what we do. So therefore, no matter how you feel inside, that isn't you. It's what you do. So guess what? You have to do things despite how you feel. Because guess what? No one knows what's inside you anyway. So what's inside you, you need to be able to overcome that to still get things done. So what you're speaking about is just nonsense. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't calculate to anything. It doesn't calculate to any good outcome. This is why I'm saying, like, I'm a man, and I'm speaking of 4 women. This is why you need a man. And guess what? I think all you ladies are single, right? I'm the only one in a relationship. I'm the only one. I have full custody of my daughter. Full custody of my daughter, and she's 11 years old. I raised her on my own. You get what I'm saying? So, and I have a son as well. I have 2 kids. So I'm a man. I'm a manly man. I run a full household. And guess what? My woman doesn't work. She's at home, chilling. She's asleep right now with the baby. It's 12. She's sleeping, but she probably was watching this earlier. But she's sleeping right now. So what I'm saying is that I am the man that is giving the guidance because I went through a whole lot of things that I had to overcome. So yeah, it may sound crazy what I'm saying. It may sound like, oh, he wants men to be robots. It may sound like, oh, he just has this conservative mindset, and he's speaking crazy. But no, it comes from a place of love. It's the what I'm saying right now is the closest thing y'all ever got to God. I'm gonna be honest, because y'all never even heard it before.
No.
It's the closest. You never even think about this. You never even heard it before, but it's the closest.
Don't do that.
It's in church. In church, they're not speaking about this.
Don't do that.
In church, they're speaking about other things.
No,
In church.
Speak about stuff like this in church.
But
don't do that. They do speak about stuff like this in church. But what I want to say is the biggest test in your life that you can have is marriage. And until you get to a point of marriage,
coming from the single woman that isn't a virgin, and you let another nigga bust inside you, how does that even quantify anything?
Wait, hold on. Let me
I'm taking care of my kids and my woman.
Excuse me.
Fine. Do you have a man that's taking care of you?
First of all, let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something. Do you have a man that's taking care of you?
No, I want to tell you something.
No, please, and Liam, get it on her.
No,
listen. Because you speaking to me like, whoa, like I'm not married. I'm not married because we don't want to be married.
Okay, listen.
Be married, and she doesn't want to be married. So here's what I'm saying. This is what I'm telling you, right?
No, somebody that would love to be with me and marry me, but I'm not.
Okay.
You know
what? You have someone that would love to be with you.
Yeah.
And guess what?
You know why? Because of religion. They worship another.
Stop right there. Stop right there. That's
not
totally fine. That's totally fine. Listen. Totally fine, baby girl.
I cannot have that.
It's totally fine. What you are saying to me is that you're telling me one thing about getting married to my woman. You don't even have a man that you don't have a man that meets your qualifications.
Yeah, I don't.
So at the end, who are you to tell me anything when you can't even attract a man that meets your qualifications? What are you talking about? You're single. You don't have any man that's taking care of you.
First of all, I'm not trying to say that you and your woman, you could do whatever you want to do with your woman. But I'm saying the biggest test in life is being married to someone.
Okay, that isn't, you talking about marriage.
Yeah,
you gotta break down what marriage is. Gotta break down what marriage is.
Because that's being.
No, listen. Mm-hmm. My life in any man's life, if he's in a committed relationship where he's protecting and providing for the woman in a good way, in a way that all women want, in a way that all you ladies chose. Remember, I had y'all raise your hands to the guy A, and y'all all chose guy A, to live at home and not really have to worry about anything. He's taking care of the bills and life is great. Guess what? That's my woman's situation. She has a better situation than y'all. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? It doesn't make any sense.
No, I wasn't saying about any type of...
I wasn't talking.
I'm not trying to battle
I know what you're doing. No. This is what you're doing. You're trying to quantify marriage into holiness. I'm saying that a man that is giving marriage is just a word, right? But if the man is doing everything that entails inside a marriage, it is basically a marriage, is what I'm saying. Like, what did you talk about?
Yeah, because what if something happened to you? What if something happened to you? What if something happened to you? Does your wife get all your like your wife gets all your belongings? Then you gotta leave.
Yeah, but you don't know how I have my life even set up. But and you can still set your life up in ways where you have life insurance and you have things and beneficiaries without any marriage or anything.
You in the hospital, ICU.
Okay, great.
Who should be able to, like, these are all things
of those things can be done without any type of marriage. You don't need to be married to put someone's name as a beneficiary to something. You get what I'm saying? We all know this. Anna Nicole, I mean, she did marry the dude and she got the millions when old homie had died. But we all know that, girls get with an older guy that's literally like 70 years old, they're in their 20s, and they trying to get on that beneficiary because the nigga probably about to die soon. But he doesn't even have to marry that woman, and he can still make someone a beneficiary. We all know about the situations where someone in the old home and they have family, but the way the nursing assistant that was in an old home was taking very good care of them, so they wanted to give back to them, so they put the nursing assistant as a beneficiary to get some of their money as well when they pass away. So we all know that you don't have to be married to get things done. I know what you're saying. You're coming from a religious standpoint, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but then if you make a personal attack, I have to give the
I
energy.
didn't make a personal attack.
But listen, no, listen.
I was
What you
talking
did-
about marriage in
No, but
general, and then you just...
No, you looked at me. You use innuendo. That's what I said. When women
Mm-hmm.
show aggression, they don't show it in a physical sense. They show it in an innuendo way. You look up the definition to the word.
I
and
know what
that's
it is,
exactly
and
what you
I'm
just
not...
did.
But
So
listen...
I'm playing. So all I'm saying is that
it's
and I'll
not
let you
just
go.
you.
All I'm saying is that man, matter.
No, just...
Hey, chat, who won that
Yeah,
debate?
you
Put
see?
a one in the chat if I won.
Everybody's just gonna say him, but this is why our society is messed up now. Men are not getting married, and the house is having no accountability. Everybody is doing what they want to do, except for what.
Okay, right.
That's
You
I
saying
stand
men,
on
you
that.
saying men aren't getting married. So I'll challenge you in another
Men
way
and
here.
women aren't getting married.
You saying men aren't getting married, but men hold the key to marriage.
Yeah, they're not getting married.
But yeah, so obviously the woman isn't acquiescing her behaviors to get the ring. If she wants the ring, if marriage is what the woman wants.
It's plenty of times that
Like if the woman actually wants to, I'm sure, please marry me. She's gonna do everything the man says. But obviously, you saying that these women out here aren't getting married, so obviously they're not doing anything. But I
think it's not even that. I think
women
it's
just
more
want true
so.
commitment.
No, I think more so it's like you guys are. Well, I don't know. I'm talking from a standpoint of men just cheating on women nowadays. They have so many options that it's like, why should I marry this person? I can mess with her. Or if she's giving me everything, why should I marry her? It's like nobody want to hold commitment no more. Nobody want to be accountable. And when you in a marriage, it's accountable because that person is steadily looking at you and you're looking at that person and you holding each other accountable for things. Go ahead.
Well, you got super chat? Oh, what?
Oh, they
I want to debate.
say one though.
Say one.
They're saying that when
Everybody speaking.
have to really be.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
They don't date as far as who they want to wife. They date for quantity. It's up to the girl to knock that song.
Yeah. Yeah. So exactly. So it's up to the girl. So if you want women to get married, then women have to be better women. That's all it is. And that's what, because it's like this. If you
Black
want,
and white though.
no, it is that. I mean, so think about it, right? Forget that.
man.
Let's go to you because I don't.
Just gonna say, I mean, I support women all the way, but I just feel like every time it's brought up about cheating, men are always talked about. Females are messed up too. I feel like we have to acknowledge that.
I
Like,
acknowledge
no,
that.
men don't
Sure.
cuff you. There's a reason they don't want to cuff you. Like, you know, like women are also just as bad as
But this
men.
is, see,
Hold on. Let keep out. He just grabbed me something real quick. Go ahead. You good?
Can I use the bathroom?
Yeah.
Can I get
And Kaylee, we're gonna get to your question. I'm sorry. But go ahead.
No, because she was saying that she's holding women accountable. And yes, women definitely have to be held accountable. But I know being in a 10-year relationship with a man for mad long and just sitting there and not getting married, but just staying with them, it makes it's
frustrating.
It's frustrated. It's stupid. I did that.
Did he have a reason for not wanting to get married? Like, did y'all talk about that?
Wait, time out. You said that you stayed with a man in a relationship and he didn't want to get married?
No, it's not that he didn't want.
I'm sorry, speaking to Mike.
Sorry. Honestly speaking, we never even spoke about marriage.
Okay.
But I just was like, okay, we still rocking out. And I just sat there. And then it's like, I got rid of him. I broke up with him for my own personal reasons.
Exactly.
But
Go ahead. Go ahead. Because you got to honor one mic at a time. So let me talk. Go ahead.
I can't stand you.
I have to talk to.
But no, so look, I was with him for 10 years, right? And even if he did ask me, I wouldn't have married him. I did break up with him. You understand? Because I just didn't want that. But at the same note in time, it's like if you got a kid with a person and if you're being like, y'all acting like y'all what is the difference between, and I get it, he said it's the legality, but and God eyes too, it's like he also talks about marriage and he talks about having another person there to witness it. This is in the Bible, correct?
Yeah. So
Okay.
let me say something, right? Liam, you good?
And this is why women shouldn't be having sex too.
So look. You had a man and you broke up with him.
Yeah.
You left that man.
Yeah.
And you speaking about marriage. And obviously he couldn't hold up his end of the bargain within a relationship. That's why you got rid of him, meaning that he was lacking in certain things. It could have been.
Yeah, he was lacking in certain things. It wasn't the marriage because I would have never if he did.
Think about it. You chose a man that was lacking in certain things. And therefore, you didn't even want to get married to him. But you still allowed that human being to slide up in between your soul gaps and smack it and flip it around.
Oh my God.
So what I'm saying is this.
Wow. No. Because we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. You can talk, but just talk respectfully.
Oh, no, that's the thing I say. Don't take that with any heart. I always say that.
Respectfully.
It is. I'm going to have T-shirts that say, slide in between soul gaps. I always say that on the podcast. So no disrespect to you.
What?
No disrespect.
Yeah.
Like that, right?
I never heard that till today.
Yeah.
Sexual intercourse.
Yeah.
That was before. Honestly, that was before. Like I have discernment, wisdom.
This is what I'm saying.
It doesn't even. All that is before. I could be truthful and real about mine.
Okay.
Yes, I had sex, but this is the purpose. This is why we're not supposed to be having sex before we actually get married.
This is what I'm saying, right? This is what I'm saying. How can you say men need to get married to women, but and then you tend to come at me about my relationship, right? Where I'm taking full accountability for my relationship and providing for a relationship, and that woman is happy, but you don't even have enough discernment and to make good judgment to choose a man that you actually truly, genuinely love, respect, and admire. Well, let me finish, right? You can say it was the past, but still, that's still a body count for you. And guess
you
what?
learn and you grow.
Okay, totally fine. But learn and grow for you, the more you have to learn is more men the men that you want will disqualify you because you've increased your body
I had
count.
one man that for 10 years, that doesn't sound like if you're in a relationship with one man for 10 years, that doesn't sound like you being promiscuous.
You was talking about me,
anything.
and I was in a relationship for 6 years, but you was in a relationship for 10 years and you didn't get no ring, and you didn't even want a ring from the man because he was a low value man. He was lacking, like you said. Yeah, and then you tend to come at me for my relationship.
No, that's because the reason why I speak to you like that because you call yourself a man of God.
I am a man of God. Are you a woman of God?
Yes.
Okay. Well, why aren't you a virgin? I'm not supposed to be a virgin. There ain't no man in the Bible that was a virgin.
I'm not saying anybody was a.
Okay.
I'm not saying.
Think about it. Listen.
Because once you change your life and say, listen, I am a man of God or a woman of God, you follow rules, disciplines, principles, integrity, morals. You move in that you move in the authority in which God has given you by following following his steps. Yep. So this is why I ask you these things. Not saying, but if you if you want to live your life, that's you. I don't really care about that. I'm not coming at you, but I'm figuring you for a man of God, since you bring up God a lot, that I'm not only I'm a man of God. I talk about it and I be about it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna say. I'm more of a human, man and woman, because you're a woman and I'm a man. I'm more of a human of God than you are of a woman of God. So I'm more of a human of God than you are of a human of God, because I'm literally I'm literally doing everything that a man should do. You don't even have the ability to attract the guys that you're going to truly, genuinely respect and admire, because every guy you attract, you break up with them. So you can't even keep them in. So if we're speaking about who's more of the godly human being and living a righteous way, it would be me. I have full custody of my daughter and I'm taking care of business at home, and my woman doesn't have to work. You don't have a man to take care of you.
First of all, one thing I do want to say, I don't need a man to take care of me. God is
But
my
you want a man
provider,
to take care of
Jehovah
you.
Jireh, the provider.
You said you
and
want a
I
man
don't want a man to take care of
You
me.
should
I'm
say
happy
that.
in my
You chose
purpose.
guy A.
I chose, that's if I'm married.
No, well, okay, then obviously that's what you want.
But I'm not looking for marriage. I'm not looking for none of that. I'm honestly, I don't want to be married because it's a headache. I still got to start doing things.
So look, she don't want. Okay, boom. You open up the can of worms even more. You talking about marriage. Then she just admits that she doesn't want to be married. So what are we arguing about? What are we arguing about?
I don't want to be.
What are we
Listen.
arguing about? Yo, chat. Hold on, chat. Chat.
No.
One mic at a time. Let me ask the chat something. Chat. I just killed her getting another debate. Put a 1 in the chat if I won that. Yo, this is the third debate. Put a 1 in the chat if I won that debate. Put a 2 in the chat if she won that debate. Because Brad.
Okay, so can I talk now?
Yeah, fine, go ahead. And then after you speak, we got to give it to Kaylee. We're going to do one more question on the podcast, and we got to end it because it's late.
Okay. Yeah. So honestly speaking, I used to be one of those girls that wanted to get married and after God put me through the fire, the test, the storm to see what marriage really entails, I don't want it. I don't want it.
Okay.
So I bring up marriage because if you're going to do it, just do it right in God's eyes, because that's how I feel about it. But that's me morally. That don't got nothing. If that's not you following in all the footsteps in which God has led you to or whatever, that's your decision. But as for me, if I'm
following it either.
I'm following the footsteps. He ain't say I had to get married. If God wanted me to marry somebody, he would bring them to me. Like, I don't want to.
So this is a fallacy. Well,
what?
She just said that if God want me to be married, he gonna bring them to me. No, baby girl. If you want to be married, you gotta acquiesce your behaviors to get the man that you want. You get it? Okay. Obviously, you not acquiescing your behaviors to attract the man that you want. Because think about it. Every man that you attract, you don't want to retain them, meaning that they are inadequate men. So then
it's not even about that. It's not every man.
Let me finish.
Plenty of men that try to talk to me.
Please, I just let you speak. Obviously, you are attracting the men that are inadequate, so then you break up those relationships. That's the facts. Because you break up with them and you admitted to it because the dude was lacking. If you had the ability to attract higher value dudes, you wouldn't be breaking up with those dudes because they wouldn't be lacking. So my point is that you don't have the ability to attract the men that you want. That means that you have to work on yourself.
No, I do have the.
That means take accountability and work on yourself. That's what that means.
Listen, I do. I say my ex. I'll bring up my ex, for instance.
Wait. Time real quick. Mm-hmm. Real quick. We've been going on for a minute. I got to give it to Kaylee because we got to move on. Because we just going back and forth. And yeah.
Go ahead, Kaylee.
You had something.
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to say that it was back to the whole like men being emotional, vulnerable part. I don't know if you guys know this, but the suicide rate for men is higher than women.
Yeah.
And
because they are emotional.
No.
Is it because they're emotional,
or
they
they're not
can't let
releasing
emotional
their
out?
emotions.
Guess what? They release their emotions. That's why they off themselves.
Oh,
You
wait.
get it?
They
So-
don't know how to release their emotions.
they don't know
That's the problem.
Wait,
Wait.
Kaylee.
No.
Also, you could think like a man is perfectly fine, right? And then one day he'll just like go kill himself, and you won't know why.
Nobody knows why, because they don't speak about it, they don't talk about it, and they
Let
hold the
Kaylee
burden.
finish. Let Kaylee finish.
They don't, and I actually have had 2 guy friends kill themselves actually in the past because they were depressed and they just couldn't talk about their emotions, so they just went up and did it. And that was very hard for me, and that's why I think men should talk and speak up about their feelings. At least like go see a therapist. I'm not saying cry to your girlfriend all the time, but like just like get some professional help.
Yeah. So Kaylee, my point is that the man that offed himself, and try not to say the K word, the KILL word. 'cause
Oh,
it's
I'm
sensitive
sorry.
For you two, totally fine.
I didn't know.
Okay. The men that off themselves, right? You say that she said that they didn't have an outlet for their emotions to let their emotions out. I'm saying that they let their emotions out. That's why they off themselves. So
Okay.
this side of the couch is trying to argue for men to be more emotional. And my point is that the men that are more emotional and let their emotions out, they let it out in an aggressive physical behavior, either to themselves or to harm themselves or to harm other people. So a man should be stoic and should act despite how he feels. Emotions are feelings. He feels a way. He should still act in a way despite how he feels, right? That's what men and women should do, because that's how you get things done. And when you get things done, it takes discipline. That's how you overcome. Emotions is always going to be there. We can't stop emotions, right? We can't stop it. We're going to have emotions, but we still need to act in ways despite how we feel. That's all I'm saying.
And to clarify
Go ahead
it,
real quick, Lane.
Piggyback real quick. Any man that you, without having a post-traumatic situation that happened to a man, because we can't help that. If something happened, depressed now, we can't have that. But if you ask any man that didn't, if why he's depressed now, it's probably because of lack of money, lack of self-confidence, or insecurity within him,
Yeah.
or
Chat, Liam speaking right now.
socially. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So men being depressed is just men need to work more on themselves.
Yeah,
So
and
that's what it is.
yeah, and I'll say it so the chat can hear you too. So pretty much, Liam is saying that the men that act in emotional ways, yeah, you're saying that, yeah, you want them to let it out, but those men
in
that,
positive ways, not what you say.
okay, you talking about emotions? We already talked about positive emotions. We spoke about positive emotions.
Going to the gym, releasing
yeah.
stress. This is like,
Okay.
these are things
Taking a
that I was
boxing
saying.
class, like hitting the
Not
bag.
taking off
Taking-
their self.
Oh, they heard it?
What up?
You need a mic. Yeah, facts.
Why
Liam
not
do
go?
need a mic.
Why not go to a rage room? They have those you break shit, or like take a boxing class if you're like very angry about something. Like
yeah, and
Take
that's
it
what
out
I'm
on
That's
saying.
what
something
we were saying.
else.
That's express your emotions
Okay,
like that.
that's something totally different than what she was saying.
that's
You
what I
saying
would do.
that,
I
that's totally
break
fine.
shit. It
I
makes me
just feel
feel
like
better.
there needs to be a way that men can release that emotion.
Oh yeah.
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 So
I
my
think it's
thing is
important
this,
for
right?
that
My point, y'all still talking about release.
Got you.
So yeah, I got you.
All right.
No worries, I got you. Y'all still talking about release.
You don't.
When you release something, is either gonna be negative or positive, right? That's the only way it could go. So for it not to be anything, you don't have to release the emotions, because you don't get nothing gets done when you release the emotion. Because the reason why you're emotional, because things in your life isn't going the way it's supposed to be. So you could go there and sit there and be emotional, or you can go ahead and change your behaviors to get the things done despite how you feel in that emotional state. That's what I'm saying. So it's not about letting the emotions out. Forget the emotions. We're all emotional, but get things done despite how you feel. Y'all still talking about all this letting it out, have an outlet of release. Nothing, no emotions need to be released. The only emotions need to be released is joy, happiness, gratitude, gratefulness, all the positive ones. Any of those negative emotions, sadness, unhappiness, madness, all of those, aggression, don't release that. You overcome that. The only way you overcome it is changing your behavior through discipline. Dang. All right. Super chat came in from Jens Renegi, sent in $2. What was she lacking though? She was perfect.
What?
I don't know. This was sent in a while ago. He was probably talking about.
Her being married. He was trying to make fun of, I think.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He was. You put the face. Yeah, he was just being funny too. He's like, "What were you lacking in? You were perfect."
Oh no, I'm not perfect. So ha ha ha, sarcasm. I get it. Yes, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect, nor do I claim to be.
Okay, chat. Listen. Let me give it to her real quick. What you had?
Okay, I was gonna piggyback off you, but basically I was gonna say, like if you go to a rage room, that's temporary. So I feel like for men and women, if like you need to deal with your trauma on your own. And I feel like the only way to have a successful relationship, like kind of like what he was saying, like I understand his side of
I
everything.
understand his side too.
Because it makes sense. And it makes sense because it's like if you heal yourself and if you deal with all the stuff that you've been through, when you're with somebody else, you're not going to feel the need to cry. You're not going to feel the need to dwell. Like things are going to come up that upset you, but you're going to be healed as a person. So you won't have to deal with like the extra things that other people deal with that cause people to not last.
I get what you're saying.
So it's like, yeah, like if you're going to the gym, okay, you're going to the gym, but are you going to go to the gym for the rest of your life just to feel okay at the end of it? Like you need to feel good without going to the gym.
And I get what he's saying and what you're saying, but you did mention like when something comes up and it's like
his mom died. His son, like you got to
something
learn how to
comes
cry. You got to.
when
But when something come up, other than that, everything else you should be able to handle as a man. Like losing a job.
Now y'all saying you should be able to handle as a man.
No.
Before they were saying like he need to be emotional, let that out. Don't matter what it is, he's gonna let that out. Be vulnerable.
No, but see,
I
this
still
was
agree. I still
was
agree,
saying that.
but, like when stuff comes up, you have to have the space to bring that stuff up, fix that stuff up. Like have the space to be emotional when that stuff comes up.
Oh.
Yes, still like move on, find a solution, do what you need to do. But like I still think it's important for like those emotions. Like sometimes people just need to be heard.
Yeah. No, 100%. But it's also like if you're in a mind space where you are good, you've overcome your trauma. You're not gonna feel the need to rely on somebody else.
That is true, yeah.
To like be there for you because you're gonna be like, I'm good. Like I'm upset right now, but I'm gonna work through it. I'm gonna do what I have to do so that I can be even better than right now, so I can feel better. So it's like you're not gonna feel the need to cry. You're not gonna feel the need to like go to a therapist or whatever the case may be, or talk to your significant other. Like you're gonna get through it together, but it's gonna be a different type of like you're not gonna feel the need to be vulnerable. You'll feel the need to talk about it and express it, but it's different than being vulnerable. I feel like because if you're vulnerable, it's like
Well, no.
I don't know. I don't know if I explained that well,
I get what you're saying.
I get what you're
I
saying.
get what
I
you're
definitely
saying.
get what you're
with your
saying.
significant other, I feel you should be vulnerable, and I stand on that.
Cast along because we've been talking about a lot of emotional stuff. The chat is probably like, "Yo, cool,
Putting in our bag.
you going crazy about it?" Yeah. Moving along, all of this emotional and gospel and religious stuff. Hey, man, every podcast can't be the same. Listen, chat.
Pull up a question.
Every podcast can't be the same, bro. You know, we gotta have different podcasts. Y'all get all the podcasts where we're talking about body count and all of this other type of stuff. I mean, yeah, I could flame them on that too, but it's just gonna be the stuff y'all heard before. But this was stuff that y'all normally don't hear. So y'all got some different content today. But we're gonna do last thoughts on the podcast. Well, last thoughts and last questions. So start in over here. Any last questions you have? If you don't have any last questions, then last thoughts, how'd you like it?
It was fun. I had a good time. I don't have any questions though. I think it's cool to hear other people's perspectives and be able to talk about it. But
Cool.
yeah, it's cool.
Word, would you come back?
I would.
Word.
Yeah.
For sure. Kaylee, do you have any questions? If not,
No, I
last
don't.
thoughts?
Well, I'll always come back just to support you guys.
Appreciate
And I know
Kaylee.
you only give me advice out of love. It's not like to bash me or
It
nothing.
is always, and that's one thing, chat. And Kaylee knows definitely out of love.
Yeah. Now
That's
that
why I have you back. Is never to bash. It's a father's love. It's telling you things that normally you may not want to hear, but it's like maybe it's good to hear.
But
So,
honestly,
and thank you for being a good sport too.
I do want to say though, the last few times I was on it, put some things into perspective for me.
Good. Thank you. I'm glad that it put things in
Positive
perspective.
perspective. Yep.
Okay, word. Hey, to all the ladies that called me a misogynist, guess what? Kaylee, it's helping her out.
It is.
Any questions?
No questions. I thought this experience was really good. I like to hear your perspective, and I feel like you're a well-spoken man, and I just appreciate you for putting it out there.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Would you come back?
I would come back.
Definitely have you back. We can have these debates, and the debates is all in good spirit,
Yeah, of
and good
course.
fun
Yeah.
too. It isn't like I'm attacking the woman. I'm never attacking y'all. It's maybe attacking the argument. If you lay out this argument, even if you use like a personal situation, then I'll just attack the argument that you made with your personal situation, but not specifically attacking you as a human
Yeah,
being.
I
You
get
it?
that.
Yeah. So, it's all love.
It's all love.
How about yourself? I know you got a question. You look like you got a question. You on your phone typing up a question.
I don't have no question.
Word.
It's been it was fun. I don't like your mouth though. Sometimes you gotta watch your mouth when you talk about them things because I'm a woman of God. Yes, I said it. I stand firm on it. Nah.
Okay.
But no, me and
Okay,
Cooley,
then.
we have fun. We have fun. I appreciate it. I love the fact, sound wisdom for women that we do need a male figure to give us discipline and things of that. So I appreciate you always reiterating that because God gives you discipline. And for those single ladies, go seek God. He will give you the love, the discipline, and everything that you need.
Or single ladies, how about you change your behavior to attract the man that you want? And then you'll have a man that can instill good traits in you because the love from God trickles down from the man. So you could get it that way because at the end of the day,
Here we go.
Because at the end of the day, you don't want to live alone with cats and dogs. You need a man.
I love
So let's not talk the single talk. Because you saying that, God created a good family unit and you want the family.
Because
you were speaking about marriage this whole time, but then you saying,
but listen,
single women, you could go ahead and get, okay, yeah, seek God, but seek improving yourself so you can get the man that you can attract.
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, but when you're in your purpose, right? When you're doing what you're doing, but you already have a family and stuff, so it's kind of hard for me to express
You
that.
can still
But
say it in general. Go ahead.
yeah, like when you're moving in your purpose and doing what you're doing, you don't even think about that type of stuff, and that's what I'm trying to say because I who knows if I would get married right now. That's not for me right now. It's my time, and it's not what necessarily a problem with me talking about being single, ladies. No, you can be single, but if you want a man, go to God because he will give you the directions and the keys. I just don't want to be in a relationship right now because I'm focusing on other things. And if a man comes into that, I would have to cater to his needs. And I'm not ready to cater to his needs because I'm launching the book. Check out my book, A New Disciple, Barnes and Nobles, because I'm doing a nonprofit. Check out womanofwings.com. Donate. We're giving gifts to incarcerated parents, their children. We're giving them gifts. And I have a lot on my plate. So that's why I choose not to.
Okay, cool. And
Okay.
you're good, good plug or whatever and stuff like that.
You said I had to say
if
that.
she lost all the debates, but if you want to still, support, I support. Who black, black woman, she's trying to get the book and do a thing. Support if you want to chat. That's what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, one thing I could say that not look, I'm not attacking you, but attacking your perspective, which is the argument you laid out, is that it lacks conscientiousness, because if you have a high level of consciousness, then you're able, because you do want a man and you do want to pursue your career, like you said, the stuff that you have going on. But if you had a higher level of conscientiousness, you'll be able to do both. But the thing is that you're living like what you laid out is all I'm gonna say is what you laid out is no real direction. You laid out one thing of a direction for your book and your nonprofit. That's cool. Good for you. But as far as the relationship, because this is a relationship podcast, as far as the relationship wise, you're pretty much saying that if a man is for me, God will deliver the man for me. That's what you
Honestly,
said.
can I be real with you?
I got you. Now I'll let you go.
Okay.
That's what you said in a full totality, right? If a man is for me, God will deliver the man to me.
Yeah, he'll tell me
What
that's the
I'm
one.
telling you is that there are many scriptures in the Bible that says that it says the opposite of that. It says that in your works, you have to put in a work to get the good outcome, to get the fruits of your labor. Fruits. How do you get the fruit if you don't have the labor? You get what I'm saying?
See, that's two different things. That's not what relationships. I'll tell you about some relationships.
I'm trying to come up. But listen, it's the fruits of the labor, right? So you're not putting in the labor. You're not trying to acquiesce your behaviors and better yourself to attract the man that you want.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, so then how can you preach about marriage and say that, because if you're not even trying to better yourself to get the man that you want?
I don't want a man though.
Okay.
Right now, I don't.
The man.
No, I don't want that right now because I'm focusing on other things. You have to understand that when you don't, it's plenty of men that come and try to talk to me, but I don't look at them like, oh, he's cute or I'm a flirt with this man. No, I'm about my father's business. And excuse me if that's how the way I am right now, because that's the type of timing that I'm on.
All right, cool. Fair enough. We'll end it with that. She ain't gonna change, bro. She 37, you said? Yeah, man, she gonna stick exactly how she's sticking. She ain't trying to change. Prepare to be 45 and single, but moving right along. Podcast, this was No Fugazi. It was all good fun. I'm sorry, I gotta ask you because I asked everyone. How'd you like the podcast and would you come back?
I like the podcast because there are valid points being spoken. Would I come back?
We'll have another debate. It's good debates. It's all in good fun.
Y'all want to talk about what I want to talk about. So it makes no sense for me to come back, just to be honest.
Fair enough.
Respect.
All right. Respect. Hey, chat. Hey, thank you for watching the podcast. Listen, man, we still got over 100 people in here on YouTube watching it. Like the podcast. Get the likes up because it puts the podcast in the algorithm. It's 12. It's about to be 1 right now. It's about to be 1 in the morning right now. And y'all up watching this podcast with us, man. So I appreciate y'all. Subscribe to the podcast, like this podcast, and click the notification bell so you're notified of the next podcast. The next podcast will be Thursday. We going live at 8:30 p.m. Peace. We out.
Bye.
Bye.
Drop the ending, Lean. Dang, nigga. Peace, we out. Let me know when to do peace, we out so you can drop the ending. Signal me.